NBC Sports proudly presents Game 1 in our exclusive coverage of the Bowl Championship Series.
In his first year as head coach of the Fighting Irish, Charlie Weis restored the glory to Notre Dame. The quarterback guru brought his wizardry to South Bend, and junior quarterback Brady Quinn responded in kind. Under the watchful eye of his head coach, Quinn shredded the Irish record books in 2005, leading an aerial assault that had never before been seen at Notre Dame. Today, he serves as the trigger man for an electrifying offensive attack that includes big play wide receiver Jeff Samardzija. But awaiting the Irish in the Tempe Desert is the most aggressive defensive unit they've seen all season. The big bad Buckeyes of Ohio State come on with a ferocious group of playmakers who thrive on speed and toughness. Two qualities embodied by their emotional leader, senior linebacker A.J. Hawk. So it is offense versus defense as two of college football's all-time titans clash under the desert sky. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl is next on ABC. It's a fast track, ladies and gentlemen. Temperature is in the 70s. We could have a good old-fashioned high-scoring shootout at the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. The Ohio State Buckeyes 9-2. The Notre Dame Fighting Irish 9-2 meet in this, the first of 4 BCS games. All will be broadcast in HD, presented by DLP Picture Technology. Ohio State fans have waited for this scene. Number 42 is in uniform. Broke his ankle. The final game of the season. Jim Tressel standing by with Jack Arute. And Jack, what's the latest on Bobby? Can he go?
Well, let's check with the coach. How much can you get out of Bobby Carpenter today, Coach?
Probably not much, but first of all, you need to stay in that collar. You're not looking sharp. Bobby's dressed, but probably won't play.
So how will that impact the game, Coach?
Well, he's a playmaker, but we've got some guys, and, you know, we're going to have one less, but he'll be here in spirit, and he'll be yelling like crazy.
Thanks for the stay.
Okay, buddy.
A real nervous head coach of Ohio State. Remember, he won a national championship here. So let me turn you loose on the two quarterbacks. Compare them for our audience. Not everybody's seen Troy Smith and Brady Quinn.
Well, let's start, Brent, with Brady Quinn. From the first half against Pittsburgh and to the last drive against Stanford, no one has thrown the ball better than Brady Quinn. He has won football games. He is unquestioned leader in the best passing game in college football. But in the second half of this football season, Troy Smith has broken out. You'd be surprised to know he's the 6th rated passer in college football, and he beats you in a lot of different ways. Ohio State has ridden Troy Smith, and he can beat you with his arm and his legs.
And Gary, we will see Quinn with the first series of the game as the Buckeyes won the toss and they deferred. Officiating crew is from the SEC, a good one. Josh Houston, who has kicked it in and out of the end zone all season long with the ball on the 35 and along the ground. It is fielded at the 18-yard line by an upback, and the Irish will start at about the 28-yard line. There's Brady Quinn over with the guru, Charlie Weis. And so he comes out. And folks, notice 32 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. What about defending Quinn here today, Gary?
Well, remember, you're defending Quinn and Charlie Weis. You must mix up your fronts and your coverages. If Brady Quinn knows where you are, Charlie Weis will know where you are, and he will pick you apart. A lot of movement for Ohio State.
Schlegel backs out of the line. And on first down, Quinn going deep. Got Samardzija open. And he couldn't hang on at the 24-yard line. Almost made a fingertip catch for the Irish on the first play of the game. Don't be surprised if Weis goes deep again.
Well, this is always part of the game plan for Notre Dame. They love to throw the post pattern, and all year Jeff Samardzija has made that catch. Ohio State just watched a guy run right by him, and it was their best cover corner, Ashton Yabodi, who watched the big guy supposedly the possession receiver run right by him.
Weiss scripts the first 15 plays, but he'll break out of it if he sees something else. Samardzija on the flanker screen, run out of bounds on the near side at about the 35-yard line by Dante Whitner, the strong safety. So our Tostitos starting lineups on this beautiful day here in Tempe. Stovall, Schwab, the fullback. Walker, underrated running back. Fasano, very talented tight end. Samardzija, we've already seen. Key in on John Sullivan, folks, number 78. When he anchors the middle of this experienced offensive line, there are 3 seniors, and one of them, Dan Santucci, does have another year of eligibility if he wants to come back. But Sullivan leads it up. He'll call the line blocking, and Michigan State exploited the middle against the Irish, but they've been much stouter with number 78 holding court there. You can see they spread the field with 4 wide. There's the fake, and here comes Walker. So it'll be a first down for the Irish. Whitner again making the stop. And this defense will be under fire today, one of the best in the country. Patterson, Green, Pitcock, and Kudla, Mike Kudla. Now the linebackers, here's the story. James Laurinaitis starts in place of the injured Bobby Carpenter. Schlegel and A.J. Hawk, 51 and 47, the other 2. Yabodi, Sally, Whitner, and Tyler Everett, and they are going to be under fire from the Weiss attack. You NFL fans who happen to be watching college football today on this holiday, you'll recognize the plays from the New England playbook. Draw play. Walker breaks the first tackle. I mentioned, Gary, that he's underrated. Let's talk about Walker. Does not have that breakout speed. Not Reggie Bush. He's not going to take a play like that to the house, but he's going to pound away, and a terrific receiver.
Well, that's the beauty of the running back in this offense. Darius Walker is a scorer. He broke the high school record in Georgia of Herschel Walker as a touchdown scorer in high school. Was, by the way, recruited by both teams, but he makes guys miss, just like Tyler Everett. Unblocked, came on a safety blitz. He makes guys miss, and that's why he's so valuable in this offense.
Well, we talked to Notre Dame quarterback Brady Quinn about reading defenses for Charlie Weiss.
I think I'm at the point now where I'm recognizing many different defenses, coverages, things that defenses are trying to do. That helps you kind of get through your progression quicker. Having 5 guys to look out on every play can be tough. And although some plays, you have to go through the entire progression, but others, you can, cross a few guys off just based off coverage.
And his running back picked up the first down, so 2 carries and 19 yards for Walker.
Tight end split very wide. That's a different formation for Notre Dame, way down.
Great job by the offensive line. Stovall at the 20-yard line. And let's talk about how tall these receivers are. Both of them 6'5", Gary.
You bet. But when they're that wide open, they can be 5'6". Exploiting this defense is what Charlie Weiss likes to do. But Brent, right down here is where they like to go to the tall receivers. They like to throw the fade, and you can see Samardzija, Stovall, and the tight end all have that height advantage.
Just on the edge of the red zone, just outside the 20. And now they're in the red zone, and Walker could score. Touchdown! 21-yard burst. And Darius Walker stuns the Buckeyes' run defense. The best in the country at stopping the run. And Charlie Weiss, the pass master, spreads the field and runs it against the Buckeyes, who are without number 42.
One of those formations where they now have the fullback Schwab in the game. They've spread out tight ends. Look at, they got a body on A.J. Hawk. Dan Stevenson blocked Hawk, and that sprung Walker.
Fitzpatrick back handling the kicking. The Fighting Irish of Notre Dame strike first. Hang on, everybody. We're in for a high-scoring afternoon here in the Fiesta Bowl. Trust me, the Buckeyes and Troy Smith are going to move the ball.
Well, let's look at the play behind the play here. This time it was Dan Stevenson, number there, 74, getting to A.J. Hawk. Watch how he rubs off, make sure the tight end, the defensive end doesn't come in, and then picks off number 47. That is the game plan. Put a body on number 47, and that sprung him.
427 points, a Notre Dame record. The Charlie Weiss offense comes to college. What a story is. Never played college football. Graduated from Notre Dame. Short, and here comes one of the return twins. They're going to run a reverse. Fake it. And it was Santonio Holmes as Gonzalez gave him the reverse look, and Holmes kept it. Now Troy Smith, who we think is one of the most underrated quarterbacks in the country. Folks, look at this. 14 touchdowns, 4 interceptions, 300 yards against Michigan. Gary, he has improved dramatically.
Yeah, he is a tough football player, and the Notre Dame defense and Rick Minner, the defensive coordinator, will try to spy. I think Michigan made a mistake in keeping their spy guy too deep. They need to move him up and crowd the line of scrimmage if they spy, because if there's any space, Troy Smith will beat you.
Antonio Pittman, 1,000-yard rusher, starts off the game. Left side is jammed. Would not move, and Maurice Crum, whose daddy played for the Miami Hurricanes, our Tostitos lineup. You can see Ted Ginn Jr., many of you know about him. Santonio Holmes, a junior, but he could be opting for the NFL after this game. There's that offensive line, and we will see Alex Boone up there, folks, as a third tackle. Doug Daddish will line up as a tight end in their jumbo formation. He's not an eligible receiver because of the number 50. Now they bring Nick Mangold as the ringleader coming up to the line of scrimmage. Fake to Pittman. Downfield, overthrew again with his first pass of the game. Now defensively for Notre Dame. And here is the big question mark about the Fighting Irish. Can this defensive front hold up? The Buckeye coach is very impressed with number 66 and number 95. Evie Omri and Landry. The linebackers, Hoyt Mays and Maurice Crum, who's already made a stop. And then the secondary. Can they hold up against Ginn, Holmes, and Gonzalez? Tom Zibikowski, a tough youngster from Arlington Heights, a former Golden Gloves boxer. He can hammer you. But first he's got to catch number 7 and number 4. Nickel backfield, Troy Smith from the gun. He's an outstanding runner. He's got the first down.
Ohio State already behind, obviously, 7-0, but let's look what they want to do. They will spread the ball for speed. They will get wide formations, 3 wide receivers, and then they feel their wide receivers and speed along with Troy Smith will make a difference. The Notre Dame defense makes turnovers. They make plays. They are not a knockout defense. They're very good on third down. They must find a way to get off the field one way or another.
So on 39, Troy Smith runs 14 yards. He was a high school teammate of Ted Ginn Jr., Ted Ginn's father, the coach of that team in the Cleveland area. Running the option. Here comes Smith. He's down, and we asked Troy where he has improved the most.
Probably off the field, in the film room. The more and more you watch film, the game will slow down for you. So my discipline within, setting and focus hours within the film room has helped me become a better quarterback.
The one thing the coaches will tell you privately is that Troy Smith finally trusts them. And it is that trust and that relationship that has improved dramatically over the last year. Many people think that this Ohio State team would have had a much better chance against Ohio State had he been ready to start that night back in Columbus. Pittman with a jumbo, the third tackle in, and nothing doing as Corey Mays from Chicago makes the stop. And of course, our first reminder about the Nokia Sugar Bowl, Georgia, the SEC champions, against the Mountaineers of West Virginia, perhaps an underrated team, the champions of the Big East.
Yeah, they run the ball very well, but Georgia has tremendous athletes. Brent, the little thing that unfolded to me, I've been talking to the Notre Dame coaches, they feel that Ohio State tilts their game and runs more to their right. Notre Dame's left than they do to the left. They are going to overplay that early in the game.
Well, Troy Smith burned him the other way, but that time they did come to the right with the running back. From the shotgun, fires, reaching for the first down. The spot will tell us. He's got the right foot out front, but it looks like it's just on the other side of that first down marker, that yellow line. So our referee And Steve Shaw will call for a first measurement. Ambrose Wooden was the defender who was trying not to give up a first down on the play.
Yeah, they eyeballed it and gave it to him. Jim Tressel is changing up formations. They'll give him a little jumbo, give him a little spread. He's run the option on the one successful play. And then, of course, the scramble by Troy Smith on third down was the other successful run.
Offensive line gives Troy plenty of time. Goes deep, Gins wide open, folks. Touchdown. Here we go. Get out the adding machine. We're underway. 56 yards, and Ted Ginn Jr., the speedster, just blew past the secondary.
Ambrose Wooden peeked into the backfield. He thought it was going to go to Santonio Holmes, and then all of a sudden, the high school teammate from Glenville High School in Cleveland, quarterback to receiver, puts 7 points on the board.
Josh Houston, the extra point. The punter, A.J. Trapasso, is the home. Ohio State and the Fighting Irish of Notre Dame are deadlocked at 7. We played less than 5 minutes, and both teams have struck. Notre Dame driving for a score. The Buckeyes go the long way.
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Brought to you by Tostitos. Nothing brings people together like Tostitos chips and salsa. Meet you at the Tostitos. Chrysler. Inspiration comes standard. Allstate, a proud sponsor of the Bowl Championship Series. And refreshingly smooth Bud Light. Always worth it.
Is this a great appetizer? I can't believe that fellow would be hanging out up there on a rock. I hope he's got a view of the stadium up there. And, you got some great climbing around here. And, of course, the national championship game coming up in a couple of days, the Rose Bowl, USC and Texas. And both of these teams have been in the arena with those two. This one will come out on the 20. Gary?
It's just one false step by Ambrose Wooden, number 22, the corner right here. It's a simple route, but there's speed on the outside with Ted Ginn. Watch him just take one false step. He peeks inside to Santonio Holmes, and Ted Ginn just flies right. Watch it. It's just a stutter right there. That ball's in the air, and that costs you as your corner. You cannot peek inside with that type of speed to the outside.
The Ohio State coaches obviously spent a lot of time with the USC tape from South Bend in what was the college football game of the year. And Pete Carroll's staff attacked the right side of the Notre Dame defense relentlessly that night and never eased up. And, of course, when you've got pro coaches like Charlie Weiss on the other sideline, when they find a weakness, as Pete Carroll did that day, they just never get off it until you force them to stop. And our area of coverage is courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company and its associates worldwide. They wish you a happy new year. Remind you to be prepared in any weather at any time with Goodyear's new Forterra triple tread tires. And a happy new year from Goodyear. That is Rob Harley, number 34, being helped off to the Buckeye sideline. Now first and 10 from the 20-yard line for Brady Quinn, the 6'4" junior from Kaufman High School in Dublin High School, just outside of Columbus, Ohio. Recruited by Ohio State, recruited by Michigan, but he always wanted to go to Notre Dame. Incomplete. Not afraid to go to coverage. And Jack, I know there's a very special relationship between Coach Weiss and Brady.
And it started a little rocky back in spring ball, Brent, when during one of the early practices, Brady made some mental errors, and Charlie Weiss said, that's why you'll always be nothing but a 50% passer. He beat Brady Quinn down, then he built him up. I asked Brady what he learned the most from his new head coach. He said to live in the present, don't worry about the past, and let the coach worry about the future.
Indeed, and when Charlie breaks down tape, he likes to look at it from the perspective of a quarterback. What would the quarterback have seen out there? It's easy for us to second guess watching, but split second as he hands off to Darius Walker, who scored that touchdown, and he breaks free on that far side before he is pushed on. There is a penalty flag.
Yeah, it looked like Maurice Stovall was holding downfield that time on that block that broke Walker. Well, you can tell
Not happy.
at least it's on Notre Dame. You're sure of that. Let's look at the game plan for when the Irish have the football. They want to block Hawk and Schlegel. Number 47 and 51 have been circled. They must put a body on him every play. Ohio State must win the deep ball battle, and when they get into the red zone, the high ball battle. Notre Dame will throw fades down there, and the undersized corners and safeties for Ohio State must win that battle.
For a guy who didn't play, he can lather an official pretty good now, can't he, folks?
He's learned from the best. He's learned from the best.
Well,
right?
does he look like Bill Parcells or what, folks? I'm here to tell you right now, from my perspective, he's simply the little tuna. And when you sit in a room with him and listen to him, you're saying, I'm listening to Coach Parcells. This is where he learned first. And inside the matchup, this Notre Dame offense, you can see where they ranked against the Buckeye defense. We told you the Ohio State defense was #1 against the rush, but Walker off to a very good start, and now it'll be 2nd down and 10. Getting a lot of time against that defensive front. Stovall just short of the marker, and Schlegel, number 51, the fine inside linebacker for the Buckeyes.
Watch A.J. Hawk right here, number 47. He runs at what we call a delayed blitz. He'll back off and then try to sneak in with a delayed blitz, and he is picked up by that Notre Dame offensive line. That time it was Ryan Harris who was looking for him. He has been circled in the game plan, and one thing Charlie Weiss told us is, we will get a body on 47. We don't know if we can block him, but we'll put a body on him.
Power formation, freshman Aesop Schwab. He's got it. The young man from Hartford. He was forced in very early because of a suspension. And against USC, he had difficulty picking up blitzers. But as you watch the more recent game tapes, as he goes out right now, you can see the fine coaching that has gone on with Charlie Weiss's staff and his ability to pick up. And now they have the confidence in him that we're in that short yardage situation. They can hand it off to him. He's a very good prospect out of the state of Connecticut. 1st down and 10 now. 8:46 to go.
3 tight ends right there.
And of course they throw it to the outside man in that situation. And Samardzija making the catch, and Yabodi is there defensively.
Well, let's do a little scouting report on Brady Quinn right here. First of all, he's accurate. He just gets what he throws at, and he's disciplined. You do not play quarterback for Charlie Weiss if you can't take orders, and he's learned to take orders. And we saw it against Stanford, and we saw it against USC. The man simply can handle pressure.
2nd and 5 for Quinn and the Irish. Deadlocked at 7, 8:05 to go in the 1st quarter. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, Tempe, Arizona, temperature mid-70s. Walker is such a patient runner as he comes up behind that offensive line. You can watch him hesitate and look for his daylight, and then once he spots it, bang, he goes into it. He's a very intelligent running back. Mike Kudla, outstanding defensive lineman for the Buckeyes, makes the play. And Weiss gets ready again.
I'll tell you what's jumping out here right away early is this Notre Dame offensive line is handling the Ohio State front four. Now that Ohio State front four will battle you the whole football game, but so far the Irish offensive line is equal to the task.
See if Brady comes back or goes himself. Now this is the thing about Brady Quinn. He's 6'4", and in watching the tapes, the thing that jumped off the page, in fact, Pat Hayden, who does the games up in South Bend, commented on it, how strong Brady Quinn has become over the last year or so. And when you watch him, folks, when he's in the pocket and they'll start to blitz him, they're going to have to come after him if he gets too much time and they get a hand on him. It is very hard for one defender to bring him down. A very, very impressive signal caller. Wilson is now in, and from the eye, there's Walker. You can see him find his daylight. And back to A.J. Hawk, and just what Gary said, listen to him on Notre Dame's offensive line.
Their whole offensive line does a good job of getting up to linebackers quick. I mean, they're gonna have 2 or 3 linemen up to linebackers quick in the second level in a hurry, and they can move. And their tight ends are the same way.
And Gary, that's your point exactly. Get to that second level.
And that is the game plan. That time they used the fullback. But again, no Schlegel, no Hawk early in this football game. They've been kept off balance and blocked.
Second down, they move the pocket to the right and throw back for a screen, and the Buckeyes had read it perfectly. Schlegel, number 51, took Walker completely out of the play. Charlie Weiss, and as Barry Carpenter watches from the Ohio State sideline, the one thing like against Michigan State, Weiss went back-to-back with screen passes. He'll run one to the left and one to the right. And as you folks remember, the New England Patriots coming down the field when they had to have it, nobody was any better at the screen pass than Tom Brady and the Patriots and the Irish. And of course, the Buckeyes read it perfectly. They knew that's one of his favorite plays, and cleaning up the sideline now with 3rd down and 4. Another good job by the offensive line, but Samardzija was well covered by number 9, Whitner.
Whitner is the film study guy for Ohio State. You know about gym rats? Dante Whitner is a film room rat. He studies, he does his job, he anticipates. One of the best safeties in college football, Dante Whitner. Not a lot of people talk about him, but all Big Ten safety, and he is always in the right spot.
Our first punt. And the Speed Demons, the twin return men for the Buckeyes, are back. Holmes and Guinness touched it once for that touchdown. This will be Holmes at the 10-yard line with a fair catch. DJ Fitzpatrick with a fine punt. We'll take a break. Tied at 7 at the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
You're watching the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl on ABC Sports.
With Gary Danielson and Jack Arute, welcome to the desert. Tempe, Arizona. The Buckeyes and the Fighting Irish both score the first time they have the football, but Notre Dame has just been stopped, and the Buckeyes will have to drive 90 yards this time if they expect to take the lead here for the first time. Troy Smith again back in that shotgun. Pittman alongside to his left. The Irish in that base 4-3. Play fake, and Smith on the roll, going to keep it again. It was wide open, and why not? He takes it for 15 yards to the 25-yard line. Gary, how about the Chrysler passing playbook?
Well, let's go back to the touchdown. Now, no matter how well you draw up a play, if these 5 guys up front don't block, and this time they did, Barton, Downing, Mangold, Sims, and Dadish, look at that protection for Troy Smith to set up. That passing playbook, Brent, looks a lot better when you can read those pages clearly, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Yeah, they do a nice job. We don't want to just talk about one offensive line. This Ohio State offensive line has really come on the second half of the year.
They use Gonzalez in motion. He's the youngster who made that great catch against Michigan. And they come from behind, win in Ann Arbor. They're going to throw back on a screen to Pittman, and it was read by Hoyt. Brandon Hoyt, number 39, makes a wonderful play on a screen pass.
Well, Schlegel covered it one way, and then Brandon Hoyt, one of the guys, when you turn on tape, he just pops out. 39 from sideline to sideline, reads plays, and runs through 2 blocks that time. Downing couldn't get him, Dadish couldn't get him, and Hoyt found the play and dropped it for a 5-yard loss.
And folks, Dearly does enjoy poetry, and pretty good at it, we are told. Second down and 15. Pull back. Wide open. It's another first down. It's Ginn, his second touch, and Ginn is off to a big start. Let's go back now to the Brandon Hoyt story, and let's listen to him talk about his love of poetry.
For me, it's a way to express myself. It's a way to, sometimes everyone wants to get away once in a while. Well, for me, I don't need to go that far. I just take a pen and a pad. I can travel wherever I want, and that's the beauty of poetry in my eyes.
One of the impressive things about college football as you go around the country is talking to all these youngsters and how articulate they are, especially at schools like Notre Dame, Ohio State, and some of the others. When we sit down there so at ease in front of the cameras, it's a pleasure to be around them. First down and 10.
That's Teddy Ginn, quarterback.
So it was a direct snap, sort of like a single wing tailback that they move him back to that spot.
Last year it was shown in the Alamo Bowl.
Delay of game on the offense. 5-yard penalty. Remains first down.
Well, tomorrow night, of course, the FedEx Orange Bowl. Doesn't get any better than that coaching matchup down there. Joe Paterno and Penn State. It's Bobby Bowden and Florida State. And well, it's hard to believe from my vantage point that Bobby Bowden is again a double-digit underdog down there in the state of Florida. Having been down there in that ACC championship game in Jacksonville, I'm just kind of shaking my head at that. I know he's lost his leading tackler and all that stuff, but trust me, Penn State is going to have to play a whale of a game to win it. And there's another penalty flag. This is coming back. Jim Tressel, such great memories of right where he's standing. Overtime, won a national championship against Miami.
Before the snap, false start number 74 on the offense.
So that was Kirk Barton, number 74, as we read the referee's lips. So there is the sister of the Notre Dame quarterback, Brady Quinn, and the girlfriend of the All-American linebacker. There's the brother. And yes, the three of them have been together, having a little conversation, a little good-natured kidding. But for Irish players, it's off limits to talk to Quinn about it at all. And Smith's in trouble. Shakes, fumble, put it down. Should have taken the sack. The Irish recover on the turnover. Inside the 15-yard line, Ronald Talley recovers the fumble and gives Charlie Weiss and the Irish an opportunity to score again.
Victor Abiamiri, number 95, blocked by 2 players that time. Troy Smith tries to shake him off, but he keeps fighting through, makes the play, and Talley ends up with it. Troy Smith so aggressive, trying to fight his way through that thing, and then it was popped out. Landed
Corey
up on
Mays.
the ground. Corey Mays was at 46. Corey Mays got his left hand on it, and that's what caused the fumble.
Yeah, he caused it, and Talley recovered. So here we go now. Let's see what Weiss comes up with inside the 15-yard line. Got the tall receivers if he wants to go to the fade. Remember, the big tight ends. And it's the draw play. Walker, who scored before, he surprises him. He's to the 7-yard line. Tyler Everett with the stop. This is the best blocking, Gary, that we have seen against the Ohio State defensive front all year long.
Well, and I think there's a reason for it. They have to spread out. They're really worried about the passing game, and they now get hit with those draw play and screen play game. Charlie Weiss and the Notre Dame offense gives you a little bit of everything. You never get comfortable as you get anywhere on the field as they enter the red zone here because of the turnover.
Toss play. Walker has Carlson, one of the blockers, and it is blown up beautifully. Ubodi, Ashton Ubodi. A man who immigrated very tough circumstances out of Liberia and made the most out of his opportunity. 6'1" corner for the Buckeyes, and makes him sit now in 3rd and 2, and we'll see. And you can see Carpenter trying to signal out to the defensive front how to play against this. Samardzija, who's been great on the inside, is out to the left.
3 tight ends in the game.
One of them used as a blocker, and it's Walker again. And Weiss, stubborn, tried to stick with the run, tried to pick up the first down and make it 1st and goal, and doesn't even seem to be looking for the field goal team at all.
Yeah, this one got crushed. Ohio State put a slant on and just beat that Notre Dame. Kudla beat Fasano inside the tight end that time, and they slanted, and now will Charlie go for it on 4th down?
He's got his go personnel out there. This is pure Bill Parcells. This is strictly Parcells. You are 4th down and short. You show some arrogance, and if you leave them down there, they're going to have to go 96 yards. empty the backfield. They're going to throw for it. Sacked at the 14-yard line by number 47, A.J. Hawk.
They went man-to-man on the outside, and Ohio State in this situation blitzes. You saw the stunt. Kudla from one side, Hawk from the middle, and you can see it. Man-to-man out here. I'm surprised Quinn just didn't let it go. Throw the ball. Throw it up top. Let your 6'5" guys get it. When you hung on to it, that is the reason. Got it.
Watching brother and boyfriend, and not much emotion. Timeout.
The best thing about going to Ohio State is I'm from Ohio, Ohio bred, and Ohio is where I finish.
And now Troy Smith, after turning it over to the Fighting Irish, who did not come away with any points, now has a chance to come back and move it about 86 yards. A first down on the 14-yard line, and a graphic that tells the story. Gary, you want to tell us about it?
Yeah, he's been hot second half of the year, no doubt about it.
Pittman.
How about that? Ran the ball to the left and was successful. I think that crossed up that Notre Dame Irish defense, and that's the first successful design running play they've had for Ohio State.
Second down and 2. The Irish front.
Still the 3 wide receivers. Gonzalez in the slot.
Pittman for the first down. He has got it, being wrestled down by Derek Landry. And he was the all-Ohio running back coming out of high school. He has emerged too. We've talked a lot about Troy Smith being underrated, but Antonio Pittman out of Akron, 6 games with 100 rush yards this year, and the officials huddled down there with a penalty. We'll get an explanation here on it.
The result of the play was a first down for Ohio State. After the play, dead ball, personal foul, number 77 on the offense. The penalty will be half the distance to the
We
goal
think
and
Rob
result in
Sims,
first and 10.
number 77, committed that personal foul. Take a look at this, Gary.
Left guard, 2-year starter at left tackle, now at guard. This is the end of the play. Play is down. He puts his hands right into the face of Ndukwe, number 18, the safety, and that was right in front of the official. Sims, a 3-year starter. Interesting about Pittman, Brent. You talk about a tailback. We talked about how Troy Smith has emerged. Antonio Pittman didn't score his first touchdown until the 8th game of the season against Minnesota. Imagine that, a tailback at Ohio State not scoring a touchdown until the 8th game of the year.
Draw play. And a host of blue jerseys there. Talley leading the way. Talley shaken up late in the season for Notre Dame, but able to start today's game. Makes a difference with their front. The final seconds tick away. Quarter number 1. The scoring was easy early, but not so easy late. An ABC Sports presentation of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl will continue after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Sports coverage of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl continues.
While you're away, Charlie Weiss expressed his dissatisfaction with the offensive line and the fact that they did not protect Brady Quinn in that last sequence against A.J. Hawk. He's a very animated coach on the sideline. He gets right in the players' faces. He can be heavy-handed over there. And now the Buckeyes with a 2nd down and 9. Time high and not a good pass. Well, The first thing that jumps out is how easily Notre Dame scored moving right down the field the first time. But then after that, they get a fumble in the red zone, and they haven't been able to throw the ball against it.
Yeah, three things that popped out of me, Brent. First of all, the Buckeye defense isn't as flexible without Bobby Carpenter. They can't attack you as many ways as they could with him. The Notre Dame offensive line can fight and battle up front and at least get a draw with that good Ohio State defense. And Teddy Ginn is emerging as a receiver. He is running sharp routes out there.
Here's your 3rd and 9. Time for Troy. Dances to the right, can't find anybody open. Now he throws, and Ginn cut back beautifully. And it's 1st and 10. And Gary, just as you said that, it was like former high school teammates and fellas who have played together for a long time, because Ginn picks it up for 18 yards. He reads Troy moving to the right.
Now remember, Ted Ginn never played receiver in high school. He was a star defensive back and quarterback for Glenville High School. He's still learning to be a receiver, and you can see he's starting to get it. He ran a comeback earlier. Of course, he had the bomb. He could always do that, but he's starting to get the smaller, finer parts of being a wide receiver.
Maurice Wells, number 34, is the running back. He replaces Pittman. Option, here comes Ginn, looking for a run. There was a great block on the edge. Look out. He's going to take it to the house, folks. Touchdown. Ginn's 2nd of the afternoon. 68 yards.
Off the option play, Troy Smith goes to his right and then just flips it softly to Ted Ginn. It's one block from Santonio Holmes, another one from Rob Sims. Big Dadish is out in front of him, and then he cuts back twice to finish. Prior to that touchdown, the longest run of the year for Ted Ginn, 8 yards.
Houston adds the extra point. (14-7). Buckeyes. Two terrific blocks here, Gary, on this play.
The other guy, the other receiver, the little guy, gets the linebacker, Maurice Crum. Welcome to Santonio Holmes. And then big Rob Sims just drives out the other safety. Dadish, you're not fast enough. Sorry. He's got to go right by you. He's on a different bus.
And then it was up to Ginn.
Dadish is trying as hard as he can to get out there. Big Teddy Ginn says, got to go Bastion.
Grimes and Horde are back deep. And for the first time, the Irish trail. Out of the end zone and on the 20-yard line. Well, here's a show you might be interested in, folks. ABC Thursday, the show that swept America off its feet, is back. 10 new celebrities. Here's some of the names. Oscar winner Tatum O'Neal. How about George Hamilton? He have a good suntan, and rapper Master P. Not to mention, there he is, folks.
All right.
You recognize number 80, greatest receiver of all time, and he's going to dance. He's going to be in the competition.
He's got his costume on
already.
already.
Just see him moving down there. We're down there right after this play, and we'll check in with Jackaroo. There's Quinn, and another pass that is dropped. Samardzija had it right in his hand. Let's go down to Jack.
You'd have caught that, right?
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. You know, I think he wanted to, he wanted to catch the ball. He wanted to get upfield, so you can't take it out for ball.
We've seen some outstanding wide receiver play today. How does it match up in your mind?
Ginn is trying to take this game over. You know, on a reverse play, I think Troy Smith threw an excellent block for him. He was able to go 86 yards. Then also, he's just making plays.
I got one more question for you after this play.
Okay.
Here's Quinn in trouble again. The second sack of the game by the Buckeyes. Back to Jack.
All right, here's my question for you. What's tougher, going across the middle in the NFL or doing a samba?
Dancing with the Stars. That's coming up. Right now, I have learned like 4 dances. The cha-cha, the quick step, and a couple more. So I have to learn 6 more, but it's easier going across the middle.
I can't wait to see a couple more.
All right, Jack, and Gary, there's your second sack of the game.
Yep. Ohio State showed blitz, came out of it, and fooled Brady Quinn and the protection.
Kudla. Middle. This time, Samardzija hangs on, but he is short of the first down. A.J. Hawk is there defensively, such an active linebacker. The Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten. Runner-up for the Butkus Award. And we don't want to take anything away from Paul Posluszny, who's the junior, great linebacker with Penn State, but there are some who thought that because Hawk was a senior, he might win it, and Paul might win it next year, but whatever. Fitzpatrick is back to punt. And we're going to have Ted Ginn. Here's the man, fair catch. Up into the sun at about the 29-yard line, and so the Ted Ginn show, as Jerry Rice put it, well underway.
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, brought to you by Tostitos. Stay tuned for the Tostitos Creating Connections halftime program. Aflac, ask about it at work. Nokia, your friends, your family, your music, your pictures. It's your life in there. Nokia. And Pontiac, today is your last chance to go online and vote for the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year.
Camelback Mountain, one of the great landmarks down here around the Phoenix area. Oh, the growth, folks. You can see where those houses and the sprawl and some of the great golf courses.
Can we have that shot again? One of my golf balls I think I saw right up there on the mountain.
I wasn't going to mention that. 14-7. Inside. Pittman back in the game. Battling to the 30-yard line. Picked up a yard. Brandon Hoyt, number 39, making another stop. And there's Ginn over with Coach Tressel. Tressel has an outstanding bowl record. Lost his first one against Lou Holtz in South Carolina. As time ran out, the Gamecocks kicked a field goal. Then he came right back, won the national championship in that dramatic overtime game against Miami. Came back and beat Kansas State in a Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Last year, with a backup quarterback, Justin Zwick, beat Oklahoma State in the Alamo Bowl. It's a tremendous record since he took over the Buckeyes. Deflected, incomplete, and Talley, number 99. And you can see a penalty flag. They were joined down there. You could see the join as you...
Boy, that's going to be on Notre Dame, I think, and Maurice Crum.
After the play, personal foul, number 40 on the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
So it is against Crum.
Yeah, he's been decleated on a reverse, and you can see he's got a big battle going there, and then he slugs Dadish on the play right in front of the official. You tried to see his teammates pull him away, but just a little bit late.
Hard to believe that these two schools, Ohio State and Notre Dame, less than 300 miles apart, have met only 4 times in their history. This is only the 5th meeting between the Buckeyes and the Fighting Irish. It is a timeout on the field, so we'll take a break with Ohio State leading it by 7 points. When Charlie Weiss left Notre Dame, his first job was as a teacher. And there he is teaching a linebacker and how to behave. And, of course, you're always caught with the second blow, aren't you? And we mentioned they'd played only 4 times previously. Here's our Aflac trivia question. Who said, "I'm the best recruiter Notre Dame ever had"? You know the story about these two schools, of course. And so many other coaches have rated talent out of the state of Ohio. I remember Ara Parsegan when he was the Northwestern head coach. And, got some great players in that state. Did the same thing when he was at Notre Dame as Pittman slips at midfield. So we are at the top of the hour down here in the desert, just a little bit after 4 o'clock. You can see sun setting. And if you're just joining us, Ted Ginn Jr. scored on a long touchdown pass and then a brilliant run. Both of the Buckeye touchdowns here today. And Holmes is out to the left. And now Pittman stretches to the right side. And Ginn is back close to the quarterback, an option look. And Troy Smith keeping it all the way, just short of the first down, I believe. Crum making the stop over there. And let's check in on Ginn with our Jackaroo.
Well, as Gary was saying, he never played wide receiver in high school, but boy, Gary was pretty stout in track and field. Ran the 110 hurdles, the high hurdles as a junior, and then set the best time in the nation as a senior when he won the state title for the 2nd consecutive year. He's got some jets, doesn't he, guys?
Yes, he does. Just a tremendous athlete. Learning how to play wide receiver. Deontay Johnson in at running back. They barge right straight ahead to pick up the first down. Let's see where they spot this. This is going to be close. That surge pushed him back a little bit. You can see our 1st and 10 line.
Ohio State has been very good the last 3 games of the year, and so far today if they make this, they'll be 4 for 4 on 3rd down. In the last 3 games, they've been 70% conversion on 3rd down. That's the emergence of Troy Smith in the way this offense has taken his skills and kind of spread it around to all those athletes for Ohio State. Look for Santonio Holmes to get a little piece of this football pretty soon right here. He is a great player, and he's as healthy as he's been all year.
Smith looks the other way and fires the first down. If it's working, why come off it? Number 7. And there's a penalty. Zivakowski overlaid on the play on Ginn. And we'll see if the Irish are guilty again, as Hoyt is in there and shaking his head, and that indicates it's going against Weiss and Notre Dame.
How about how many fakes Ted Ginn gave after he caught that football? Is he calm with that football in his hands?
There were 2 fouls, both dead ball fouls, personal foul, number 9 on the defense, number 50 on the offense. The penalties will offset. It'll be 1st and 10.
Doug Dadish, Zivakowski, of course, we saw out of bounds. The hard-hitting safety from Arlington Heights, who was once a Golden Gloves fighter. Dadish is down in on the inside, and you'll watch Zivakowski come over to the sideline. Watch number 9. And he pushes Ginn, and you can see Dadish up ahead gave a shove to Maurice Crum. So they were both guilty, and it'll be 1st down and 10 with the ball on the 27-yard line. Pulling back. Firing complete again. And Santonio Holmes is down around the 10-yard line.
How about the ball placement for Troy Smith? This is going to be a little motion to the right like it's the option, and then come back and throw the comeback to the opposite side. This play was effective against Michigan State where they hit a comeback just like that for a touchdown on a broken tackle, and then when they rolled up the coverage, they hit him deep. Troy Smith's accuracy in the 2nd half of the season, you can see that ball right where it has to be.
Frost, the tight end, is to the right side of the formation. And Ginn is back, lined up just behind the tight end, and they're getting option bad lateral. Notre Dame's got it. On the 9-yard line, recovered by Ambrose Wooden. It was a bad pitch from Troy to Ted Ginn.
Once Troy went inside the defensive end here, he tried to make the big play on the pitch. It was too far out in front of Ted Ginn. No way he could handle it. And Notre Dame again dodges with opportunistic defense.
8:56 to go in the first half. 14-7, Buckeyes lead. The Fighting Irish have got the ball.
You're watching the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl on ABC Sports.
Brady Quinn and the Fighting Irish with a first down. Just inside the 10-yard line. And Quinn only 50% for 56 yards. So less than 6 yards a passing attempt. Way below his average against this Buckeye defense. Wilson getting a lot of snaps with the absence of Carpenter in that defensive front for the Bucks. And Walker not picking his way that time because 97 David Patterson was there. All right, let's go back to the Aflac trivia question. Who said I'm the best recruiter Notre Dame ever had? The legend of Columbus, Ohio himself, folks. Never played Notre Dame. Now here's what would happen. Woody would be recruiting, and he'd have a young man who was interested in Ohio State, Michigan, and Notre Dame. Woody wouldn't think he's going to get him. So he would say, oh, you've got to go to Notre Dame. That's a wonderful school. Great education there. And, of course, he wouldn't mention the school up north. So he once told friends and colleagues, I'm the best recruiter Notre Dame ever had, as the penalty flag comes flying. And, of course, Woody would never schedule the Fighting Irish. One of the reasons folks who knew him really well have said through the years, he didn't want to rip apart the extensive Catholic community in the state of Ohio. He did not want them taking sides.
Brady Quinn, who lives with the deep ball, has not been able to get any of them. You see it, the longest ball, 15 yards, and that was on 3rd down and 25 yards. It didn't even pick up a first down. So you can see Brady Quinn has been forced to throw the ball underneath, and that's that nickel package that Ohio State is using. They have freshman Malcolm Jenkins, number 2 in the football game, and as Brent mentioned, a lot of different guys up front, including Lawrence Wilson, number 87, David Patterson. They're going about 8 deep on the defensive line. There's Wilson right there, a true freshman who they say will be a star someday.
Backed up inside the 5. Quinn from his end zone hits Stovall on the slant, short of the 20-yard line.
Notre Dame all year, starting out, look at that, touchdowns from every part of the football field. They have been a juggernaut. And when they get the ball in good field position, they almost score 50% of the time. Look at between the 20 and the 20. They're nearly averaging 50% of the time a touchdown.
3rd down and short for the Irish. The freshman fullback is in front of Walker. 2 tight ends. Again, the freshman fullback to the 20-yard line for the first down for Notre Dame. And Hawk making another stop defensively. So Aesop Schwab, number 44, has been the first down guy. And here, let's watch the great linebacker.
Well, A.J. Hawk, as you can see it, another guy, Dan Stevenson on A.J., but 3rd and short, you're going to get a guy on a linebacker. The key to the Notre Dame early was they got a guy on A.J. on 1st and 10. But so far lately in this game, A.J. Hawk has been roaming much cleaner.
Matt Shelton is out to Quinn's right. Quinn identifies where Schlegel's going, and now Schlegel's going to blitz him. Quinn wants to go deep to Stovall. Hand battle incomplete. And the corner on this side, Malcolm Jenkins, with him as they came down the field. And a reminder, our wild card doubleheader is Saturday. The Redskins and the Buccaneers will kick it off at 3 Eastern time. And then it is the Jaguars against the Patriots. And how will New England do in the playoffs without Charlie Weiss calling their signals. Of course, they still do have a fellow by the name of Bill Belichick over there on that sideline, and they've done very well, even without their play-calling guru. And from an empty backfield, there's Stovall. And that time, Stovall slanted in on Jenkins and made it just short, I believe, of the 45-yard line. Another first down. And now Quinn seems to be getting in more of a rhythm. Well, 6 of 12 for 70 yards here.
Or Charlie Weiss. Watch this one, Brent. A perfect call. The blitz comes from the right side on block, 2 defenders, and he throws the seam against the zone blitz to the other side. That time, with the coverage that Ohio State had on, you could not have called a better pass to Maurice Stovall.
Very highly recruited out of the Philadelphia area. In fact, he was in Jim Trussel's living room. And Trussell was confident that they could convince him to come to Ohio State, but there's going to be a flag on Jenkins. He simply threw Shelton to the ground. And that'll cost them 15, I believe, right at that spot. I don't know where exactly where that spot was. It'll be an automatic first down.
You're going to run slants and crossing routes if you're going to run this offense, and you can see the freshman right there, too aggressive.
Number 2 on the defense. Penalty will be enforced at the spot of the foul. Automatic 1st and 10.
Inside the 15-yard spot of the foul, and they'll move the chain markers. There's Jimmy Haycock, the co-defensive coordinator, Luke Fickell. The other one, Jimmy Haycock, worked with the legendary Don James out with the Washington Huskies, was on coaching staff out there. Dick Vermeil and I, when he was working college football, we used to visit with Coach out in the Seattle area. Here is the toss, and nothing much doing, only a yard as we check in with Jack.
Fellas, you remember we sat down with Charlie Weiss. He tried to expound upon his philosophy about making adjustments. He doesn't wait till halftime, so I won't have to ask him that question at the break. He says play calling is an art and not a science, and with that in mind, he said we go off of our playbook immediately, right after we see what the opposition is going to give him. He says he continues to paint the strokes throughout the course of the game, Gary. His wife calls it going commando.
Well, he's done it in a Super Bowl. He should be able to do it in this game.
2nd down and 9, and timeout is called by the Irish. So Quinn will go over to the sideline to talk to Coach. We'll take a break. Buckeyes lead it by 7. And of course, all the cheerleaders and support crews, bands enjoying the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. That tells a story, folks. Notre Dame had 72 yards on its first drive and only 82 cents. The Buckeyes are averaging 9.6 yards a play. So the Irish will have to pick it up against this tough defense. Nothing doing again. Schlegel cleans it up that time as he brings Quinn to the ground. And a reminder to stay tuned a little bit later. We'll kick off our second half with the AT&T Music Highlights featuring Queen plus Paul Rogers. And right now, the Buckeyes are rocking the Irish. Notre Dame scored on its first possession. Schlegel and Hawk, without the great Bobby Carpenter, are getting the job done. And Notre Dame facing a 3rd and 9. Too low. Samardzija has been wrapped up. 3 catches, 22 yards is all. Averaging just a tick over 7 yards a catch, and the Irish being forced to punt again. And you wonder if the frustration is mounting for Coach Charlie Weiss after what seemed like a pretty routine opening drive, and not much going his way since then. And DJ Fitzpatrick on the field, and the Twins are back. Ted Ginn and Santonio Holmes standing on the Buckeye 10-yard line. Fair catch signal by Holmes. He'll let it roll down. Tap back. That is legal. It is the football in the college game, not where it is tapped by a member of the punt team. So if it did not cross the goal line, and it does not appear to right here, snapped back down at the 2-yard line, a 48-yard punt, and dangerous field position for Troy Smith and the Buckeyes. Aerial coverage courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, reminding you to get superior traction in any weather with Goodyear's new Forterra triple tread tires. And you look down at this gorgeous scene here in Tempe, Arizona. First down and 10. Smith just following Mangold right straight ahead on the first down. Downing and Sims, 2 guards on the other side of the center.
It has been a chess match for Jim Tressel in this football game, offensively and defensively. Last time, Notre Dame had the ball on 3rd down. Ohio State came with 3 linebackers, 4 down. They didn't even have nickel in. Now, after the punt, they've got their power against power. No one giving in, no one showing their full hand in this match.
Two tight ends, Hamby on the field at that right tight end. Pittman, not much doing. This is going to be 3rd and long as we close in on halftime. And John Saunders, you and the gang are probably enjoying the view from here.
We are indeed. We'll get back to our perch a little bit later. Coming up on the Pontiac Performance halftime, we'll have one of the best performers in Ohio State history in Eddie George.
Eddie George just wanted to run the football, but I guarantee you this Ohio State offense is going to hurt him more with that pass. We'll ask Eddie.
We'll also take a look, guys, at how USC and Texas coaching staffs can keep everything so loose with so much riding on the line.
That's at halftime. Brent, back to you.
John, I'm envious of you and the gang. Get in that jet tomorrow morning, go on over there to Pasadena and see that great football game between Texas and USC. Smith on 3rd down, and there was a whistle just prior to the snap. So both teams broke out scoring in the early going. Now we've got 3:13 to go in the first half, and we have had 21 points or 3 touchdowns.
Please keep the lower camera off the field of play. The play was stopped. The camera was on the field. We'll replay 3rd down.
And the game-changing performance sponsored by Pontiac. Tune into that Rose Bowl game to find out the Pontiac game-changing performance of the year. Vote now at ESPN.com. Search Pontiac. (14-7). Smith's going to take off. Can he get the first down? Struggling for it. Got it easily. Landry.
And that's exactly what Charlie Weiss told us is the one thing he did not want to happen. If Troy Smith is going to run the ball, let him run it on 1st and 2nd down. 3rd down scrambles are demoralizing to a football team, and it's exactly what Troy Smith did here. No pressure, no lanes, and Troy Smith picks up a 1st down.
Troy Smith, throwing and running, has more yards than the entire Notre Dame offense right now. He alone has outgained the Irish. On 1st down, going deep, got Holmes in a foot race for the end zone. Touchdown. He almost started that celebration a little too early. There is a penalty flag on the play.
He's going to get a celebration penalty going up into the end zone with his finger out. That time, he did.
This one he deserves. We had one in the Michigan game, which we weren't convinced that he deserved when he dove into the end zone. And this time, he actually could have cost himself a touchdown because he could have slowed down a step as the defensive backs were closing in. But regardless, the Buckeyes have their, and you can see their coaches, it's a little bit of tough love down there. Great going, Santonio, but don't celebrate too early.
Yeah, he's healthy finally. Said he was playing 65% all year on that sprained foot. He had it from August all through the year. He's a tremendous route runner, but that time, I agree, that ball could have been poked out from behind and almost a disaster on the play. Zibikowski could have got that thing.
Now this is
sportsmanlike conduct, number 7 on the offense. That penalty will be enforced on the ensuing kickoff.
Now I wonder if he's got the wrong number or again did something too.
Could have been a double, huh? But I think it was Holmes.
I do too. Teddy, I think is saying, what did I do? I just think.
Well, I know Jim Tressel went right to Santonio Holmes and said, you can't keep doing that to me.
Josh Houston adds the extra point. Let's take another look at Santonio Holmes and watch as he pulls away well short of the end zone. He'll raise his finger in celebration.
Zukowski almost got it, didn't he?
Yes, he did.
He almost got that. Here's the key. Watch Troy Smith duck his head. It's a play-action pass. Stan White Jr. comes in, and Dukeway thinks it's a run, and all of a sudden, Santonio Holmes right down the middle of the field. The ball is thrown perfectly, and Holmes almost gets in there with the ball. Here it is. Here's the safety they're playing. Comes in, and then right by him. Watch this. Great play-action pass, and Dukeway gets his nose a little bit too far inside. Wooden stalls just a little bit right there, number 22, and Santonio Holmes takes it almost to the house without being touched.
And the referee simply made a mistake on the number. It was Santonio Holmes who drew that penalty. That drive started from the 2-yard line. That is a 98-yard drive. 3 huge plays. The story of this game, the big plays for the Buckeyes. The 56-yard pass to Ginn. The 68-yard run by Ginn, and then the longest touchdown pass in Fiesta Bowl history, 85 yards to Holmes from Troy Smith. Now you look at Troy Smith's numbers. He's thrown for better than 200 yards, and Quinn for less than 100. So we started the day saying there's another number 10 in this game, Troy Smith, and we think he's one of the most underrated all-around quarterbacks in the nation. When you go back and think about the 2 Michigan games that he has put together, one in Columbus and one in Ann Arbor, and if Lloyd Carr was seated right here and we said to him what was the difference in those 2 games, without hesitating he would say number 10, no question about it. First down and 10.
I think Ohio State would like to have another shot at Texas with a in-season Troy Smith. He is ready to play now. He had that alteration at the beginning of the season, wasn't in the rotation as a starter, just halfway, and now he's ready.
Here comes the blitz from the corner. And it was Whitner, the safety, who came off the corner and deflected it. And it'll be second down and 10, and the Irish are going to be forced to regroup. This, since that opening drive, folks, is an old-fashioned Buckeye butt-kicking.
And I'll tell you, that is a 101 blitz for Ohio State. They've been running this blitz all year, right off the slot. Dante Whitner, strong safety blitz, zone away from it. No real flash and dash, nothing Notre Dame hasn't seen. It's just Ohio State has got their gear going now.
Second down and 10. And Walker juggling. Schlegel there, incomplete. Stay tuned for the Tostitos Creating Connections halftime program coming up here. And if you go back to Charlie Weiss's play calling after the turnover inside the 15-yard line, if you want to do any second guessing, go back and get the play-by-play sheet out there. We tried to get the first down and was stuffed down there, and then they couldn't throw for it on 4th down. That would be the sequence to look for when they had a golden opportunity. 3rd down and 10. Quinn forced out of the pocket, throws, deflected, incomplete. Yabodi is over there along with Tyler Everett, number 6.
I'll tell you, Matt Shelton should have caught that football. That was right in his face mask. You got to make those plays. Your team is under a wave of blitzes, and all of a sudden your quarterback comes out of the pocket and throws a strike, and Matt Shelton, the senior, can't bring it down.
Charlie's going to have to decide what kind of love to use the rest of the way. What he's going to do at halftime is going to be very, very important with this football team. They're going to have to regroup. Ted Ginn again, folks. Kind of collided with O'Neal on his own team, dancing and looking for daylight. In that conversation that Gary Danielson mentioned that we had with Coach Weiss, I said to him, Coach, I think you're going to be looking at the best defense you've seen all year. Without hesitating, he said to me, have you looked at Tennessee? Have you taken a look at it? I said, no, I really haven't. I concede you that. But I went back and I looked at him, Coach. Right now, you're playing the best defense you've played all year, my friend. Right now. 21-7. You got 147. And let's see what you make of it.
Your average per play is almost 12 yards per play. Look at that. The big plays have gone to Ohio State.
Complete again. Again, out of bounds. The passing clinic is being put on by the Buckeyes.
Well, there is fear right now in the corners for Notre Dame. Wooden and Richardson, 22 and 30, do not believe they can match up with the speed from Ohio State. Those are easy pitching catches.
Sent the quarterback coach Joe Daniels down on the field for the game. I said, Coach, do you think you can attack the corners? You know, he's kind of a low-key fellow, does a great job, kind of under the radar. He said, yeah, I think we do. We'll see how they play us, how they try to match up, but I think we can do some business over there. And they have indeed. Smith has thrown for 219 yards in the first half. And more. And that's the tight end, Marcel Frost, making his first grab with Richardson.
And just look at the throws. I mean, there's no high balls and low balls and receivers reaching back to the right and the left. So far in this football game, when that ball is thrown to receiver, it's hitting them in the numbers, the face mask, and the hands. Troy Smith, 10 for 13, and he's throwing strikes on those 13 balls.
The Big Ten had been struggling, and then Wisconsin struck today earlier in the bowl game down in Orlando, upsetting Auburn. Slant, Holmes to the 37-yard line for a 1st and 10 inside of a minute. They have a great field goal kicker. Let us remember that right now. Of course, they're thinking touchdown, and an injured Irish player down on the field. That is number 40, Maurice Crum, the linebacker. So the Buckeyes of Ohio State, they just love this venue. A championship, another BCS win over Kansas State, and now A.J. Hawk, Bobby Carpenter. Carpenter, of course, not playing with an injury, enjoying a 2-touchdown lead. Let us take you back to that night in that great football game. Craig Krenzel, and interference is the call. And Maurice Corrett, how ironic that is in this field on this day when he's back in the news. And then the play broken up against Dorsey and the Hurricanes, who were, boy, one of the big surprises for me, Gary, is the way, not that LSU won the game. I think that can happen. Very, very good football team, but the way they manhandled Miami.
Well, and some people paid a price for that, it looks like, in Miami. They're going to make some changes on their staff. And, you know, that Fiesta Bowl game, Brent, was kind of the baptism for all these seniors now. A.J. Hawk, Bobby Carpenter, you know, these players were freshmen on that team in the Fiesta Bowl, and they saw how Mike Doss led his team. Remember when Mike Doss came back for his senior year at Ohio State? I think he's the guy that bridged it for Ohio State. The first guy that says, I want to come back and win a national championship for Ohio State, and he did it.
Now the Buckeyes with 5 wide receivers. Spread the field. Got an Irish lineman to jump. There's the whistle. Linesman stopped the play. And let's see if Landry was pulled offside. Might have made contact, and they stopped it.
Dead ball, offsides in the middle of the defensive line. 5-yard penalty. Still first down.
The strategy for Ohio State to spread the field and use their speed has paid off handsomely. 21-7. It is just obvious up here watching this. This is what Jim Tressel has hung his game plan on. Put his 3, 4, 5 wide receivers on the field, spread them out. And look at Roy Hall right here. He's got a great matchup with no safety in the middle of the field.
Here comes Troy, keeping it again in the middle of the field to the 21 for a 1st and 10, stopping the clock with 33 seconds. And with Houston over here on the sideline, I believe a timeout has been called. And
look at that difference. Look at the difference of him as a quarterback right now. He knows what he wants. He's telling receivers how to run their routes. He's a full quarterback.
Well, over on the sideline, you may have noticed the long hair on the part of the linebackers, and it brings us to a fine story down here in this part of the country. And let's join Jack Arute for that.
Guys, we've talked a lot all season about the long hair that the Buckeyes linebackers have been wearing. Well, part of the story is that it's a tribute to someone that they think they want to pattern their style of play after. Pat Tillman, who played here in Sun Devil Stadium and then went on to NFL fame and, of course, lost his life in the war in Afghanistan. Kind of an opportunity for these linebackers to pay tribute to Pat Tillman and make that tribute come full circle today.
Indeed, Jack, and there's Schlegel and Hawk. Both of them. Schlegel, for example, said that his wife would like him to cut his hair, and Hawk says his mother would like him to cut his hair. But it's a wonderful tribute to a tremendous American, Pat Tillman. I had the pleasure of covering some of Tillman's football games when he was down here at Arizona State, and he was a great warrior. And it's first down and 10. Smith is emptied out the backfield again. Just firing to Gonzalez. Gonzalez makes a cut. Zivakowski couldn't get him down. There's a penalty flag.
Yeah, I had him in the face mask.
With the face mask penalty
yes,
here.
he did.
The 10-yard line, so that'll cost them even more yards with 26 seconds, and the Irish trying to hang on. They would be happy for a Houston field goal right now and not give up 7. The Buckeyes, meanwhile, they're going to take a crack at the end zone here for a time.
And it saved Ohio State their last timeout also with 25 seconds to go. Troy Smith was running to call timeout, but the penalty canceled it.
There were 2 fouls on the play. An eligible receiver downfield on the offense. The slot back was covered up by the wideout, therefore he's ineligible. Face mask on the defense, number 8. Those penalties offset. We'll replay the down. First down.
Number 9 was guilty of the face mask.
Yeah, and that time Anthony Gonzalez lined up on the line of scrimmage. He needed to back up, so he made his own mistake.
"25 seconds, first down and 10. Line of scrimmage back outside the 20-yard line. Troy Smith just emptying the backfield. The offensive line doing its job. Troy on the move.
Ooh.
And dangerous looking pass bounced, and Smith obviously wanted one of his receivers to do something differently than what he did. 12 seconds left now with a second and 10, and of course still well within Josh Houston range as Troy checks the clock.
Yeah, now remember they got a timeout left, but he's pretty lucky right there, Troy Smith. If he'd have thrown that ball well over there to Teddy Ginn, that ball would have been intercepted. He's lucky he bounced it in there.
Second down on the slant, and Santonio stops the clock with the 1st and 10 and 4 seconds. And Houston is coming off that sideline waiting for the signal. Timeout is going to be called, and then they will get the field goal unit onto the field.
Brilliant drive by Troy Smith that time, managing the clock, taking the easy throws. He only forced one. He was lucky not to get intercepted. And you can see Jim Tressel continues to attack. He knows Notre Dame has firepower, so he attacks.
About a 28 or 29 yarder coming up for Josh. Replaced Mike Nugent. Had an outstanding season. Kicked 5 field goals in that loss against Texas. Missed a 50-yarder that might have made the difference. You can see 6 years redshirted with a knee injury. Then he backed up Mike. Then the hip injury, backed up Mike a couple more years, and here he is, having kicked 83% field goals. And he's a field position. He has that long leg from the 35. Many of his kickoffs have sailed in or out of the end zone. He takes his time, and now he trots onto the field. Trapasso will be the holder. They put it down there, and it'll officially be in a 28-yarder.
That was blocked. You could see it.
You could see from behind it. In Dukeway, we believe got through on it. Number 18. His time runs out. Let's go quickly to Jackaroo with Coach Weiss.
All right, Coach, what do you want to see out of your team in the second half?
Well, first of all, we have to play more consistently on both sides of the ball. We're sloppy on offense. We gave up too many big plays on defense. Fortunately for us, it's only a 2-score game. It could be a lot worse right now.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Let's take a look at Ndukwe.
Number 18 right there comes right inside. You must seal off inside. Ryan Hamby didn't seal off inside, and that caused it.
So coming up after this now, stay tuned for the Pontiac Performance Halftime Show. The Buckeyes lead the Irish. (21-7) as Ohio State has rocked Notre Dame. And this telecast is available on ABC HD, presented by DLP Picture Technology. So Charlie Weiss and the Irish, Gary Danielson, have to look for a way to solve some of the riddles of the defense of the Buckeyes and also settle down defensively here.
Well, I think, first of all, they got to find their offense. I mean, they can't put the ball in the end zone. They've been dropping passes. Brady Quinn has been under pressure from blitzes and just a 4-man rush. So if Quinn can't throw the ball, they're just not going to catch back. Then how to stop the other team's offense, that might be a whole different problem.
Exactly, and we shall see. Remember, the Buckeyes deferred, so they're going to receive here to start the second half, and we could be seeing number 7 or number 4. They've been the two big play men. In case you just joined us, the Buckeyes have struck 56 yards, 68 yards, and 85 yards, and the 85 yards was the longest touchdown pass in Fiesta Bowl history. Troy Smith to Santonio Holmes, and this is Holmes coming out. A little cracking there at the 24-yard line, and now we go to Jack Arute for our Home Depot coaching adjustments. Jack?
Well, guys, we heard from Charlie Weiss saying that as far as his coaching adjustments, it was going to be all about consistency. For Jim Tressel, he was livid at halftime about the turnovers that Ohio State has committed. So his coaching adjustment, 0 turnovers in the second half. We'll have to wait and see.
Jack, I agree with Coach Tressel. You look much better with that collar stay. Coach gave him one at the start of the game. Noticed that he wasn't wearing one collar, and so for those of you who might have missed that little byplay. First down and 10 for Troy Smith, who takes off on a quarterback keeper here on the first down. You see the offensive line moving the pile. Let's take a look at our Nokia game summary, our first half statistics, and as you might imagine, Gary, everything favoring the Buckeyes.
Yeah, I think these third down conversions right here, that has been the key. I said that Notre Dame's defense had to find a way to get off the field. Now, a couple turnovers have got them off the field, but Ohio State has won that third down battle, and that is something that the Irish were really banking on to win this football game.
Smith staying in the shotgun formation. Line holds incomplete. The intended receiver was number 4 Santonio Holmes, and Richardson was the corner there.
That blocked field goal at the end of the half is what Notre Dame is hanging their hat on right now. Charlie Weiss told Jack, we're lucky that this is just a 14-point game. Remember, Ohio State turned it over going in with a option play and then had that field goal block. Just a 14-point game keeps Notre Dame in it.
Third down coming up. Buckeyes, remember, we just showed you that. Perfect on third downs. His first catch of the game that time, and Roy Hall was the receiver, but Wooden was right there defensively, and that forces a punt.
I think Troy Smith went right past his read. This is an inside-out read. The tight end right here, Marcel Frost, comes right in the middle of the formation, and he's wide open for the first down right there. He claps his hands even right there, and that would have been an easy first down. Troy came out wide. He passed up number 1, went to number 2, and it cost him.
Trapasso's first punt, and Zivakowski, who has taken 2 back for touchdowns from the 26. Tough rascal, there's the penalty flag. to the 39-yard line. So looking for something to ignite the Fighting Irish. Nate Sally on the special teams, bringing down Zbikowski. Zbikowski, a Golden Gloves fighter and a pretty good one from just northwest of Chicago.
On the play, a 12-yard return.
This will be an illegal block against the Irish, no doubt, and bring it back.
Officials being very deliberate.
During the kick, illegal block in the back, number 20 on the receiving team. That penalty will be 10 yards from the end of the kick, first down.
Well, if we take a look, and on first down, Walker on a slant. Stepping out right at the first down marker, Ubodi, the corner there for Ohio State. This would really turn the crowd back around if the Irish could march down and make this a 7-point game here at the start of the third quarter. Since that opening drive of the game, Notre Dame going 70+ yards. It has been all Ohio State.
Pretty good play call on first down. On the first drive, Darius Walker was really involved in the game plan when they really had the Buckeyes off balance. To start the second half with a run serves notice that we're not going to forget about our tailback.
Now on 1st and 10, plenty of time off the play action, and the throw underneath for a loss of yardage, and A.J. Hawk, an almost certain first-round draft choice come next spring, makes another stop.
You know what I love about A.J. Hawk? There's just like no wasted motion in this guy. He doesn't, look at that, just flies to the ball, separates, gets in there, hits, wraps up. I mean, you could put a clinic watching this guy play linebacker.
And Malcolm Jenkins steps into the game. Here goes Quinn, very deep. Going to take off. His receivers were covered as they closed in. Pitcock and Schlegel, and there's A.J. Hawk. And in case you were not with us at the top of the day, his girlfriend is Brady Quinn, the Notre Dame quarterback's sister, Laura, who's here today. And we asked A.J., how'd this romance get started?
It goes back to, we kind of had mutual friends a couple years ago that we first met, and then she came back into town in Columbus towards the end of the summer, and that's when I basically met up with her again.
There she is, and half of that jersey, Notre Dame colors, half Ohio State, and I think she's pulling for little brother to get something going here, make a contest out of it. Here comes A.J. closing in on him, got him. A.J. Hawk has just sacked his future brother-in-law, and the future bride is saying, "Oh, don't hurt baby brother." But then again, that was A.J.
The left side that time as Ohio State runs the zone blitz. You get Kudla coming from that side, and then A.J. Hawk following up, and boy, I'll tell you, A.J. Hawk, that 4.45 40 speed, you saw him close.
Remember, she publicly with Jack Arute picked Notre Dame to win it by a field goal. Fair catch by Ted Ginn. So the boyfriend, A.J. Hawk, 2 sacks today. And the Buckeyes dominate. The linebacker who came to dinner. Then Brady Quinn shaken up on that play also. He's been sacked 3 times. Twice by the Hawk. Probably whispered in his ear, tell your sister to pick the other team. First down and 10 now for Troy and the Buckeyes. Here's Pittman. Shredding that side of the defense. Another first down. Hoyt was the defender over there, and the Buckeyes now have put 416 yards on the Notre Dame defense and have held the Irish to 157.
Stan White right there. Stan White Jr., son of the linebacker for Ohio State back in 1968 right there. Springs it. Just old Buckeye football. That's what the old guys used to see. Isolation, Buckeye football for a first down.
The Buckeyes are averaging better than 10 yards a play. And those 3 big plays helped a lot. Pittman again. There are a couple of offensive linemen out there for the Buckeyes. Let me read off this offensive line again. Dadish, Sims, Mangold, Downing, Barton. The 6th member of that group has been 75 Alex Boone. And there you see Sims. There's Dadish. Dadish is a tough hombre, folks. This is a good, aggressive, nasty offensive line. They went toe-to-toe with the Texas Longhorns. I think now that USC has seen what is happening here to Notre Dame, and they saw what happened to Oregon, they're going to have to get ready for Texas come championship night at the Rose Bowl. Smith got whacked, and he's strong enough to break away. There's a penalty flag on the play.
Yeah, they got him in a face mask right there on that fake pass right there. Gonzalez was covered, had to come off of it, and Jim Tressel was signaling all the way.
There is Jim Tressel, who has helping the official with the and remember, of course, this the field where he won the dramatic national championship and later beat Bill Snyder in Kansas State in another Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
Face mask, number 40 on the defense, 5-yard penalty, repeat second down.
And that's Crum, and we go down below to Jack.
We were talking about that offensive line. Troy Smith loves his offensive line. Like most quarterbacks, he takes them out to dinner. He does special things for them. But over the holidays, he provided each and every one of them with a very special holiday present. It was their very own dog tags with their numbers and their names. And etched beneath it, it says, "In our quarterback, we trust."
Indeed. And there's Nick Mangold, A.J. Hawk's roommate. Makes the line calls. He'll squat down. You can see him identifying. Here's Pittman closing down another first down. You know, talking about the Hawk dating Quinn's sister, we asked Troy Smith to comment on the situation.
I was asked that question about my sister. Would I let my sister date AJ? And you know, I said, you know, she's a grown woman. And her decision would be her decision. I think it's all right. You know what I mean? I don't have a problem with it. I'm sure they don't either.
Got to make friends with the linebackers, don't you?
Indeed. First down and 10. It added a wrinkle, folks. I've not been around before. I've got to tell you that. First down and 10. Quarterback draw. Short of the first down. And Jack, I think you have found Laura. Does she want to change her pick yet?
Well, that's what we're talking. Laura, you picked the Notre Dame Fighting Irish before the game, and all of a sudden you've changed your opinion.
Yeah, it's not looking that way. The game's looking a little rougher than I thought it would.
Now, tell me a little bit of what went through your mind when your brother got sacked by your beau.
You know, I thought I was even keel in this game, but that older sister kind of protectiveness came over me, and I'm really upset. It made me really upset. So I'm hoping that Brady can come back and show what he knows how to do.
Hey, guys, I don't think if I'm AJ, I want to hook up with Laura later tonight.
Listen, you know, thank you for being such a good sport. I know that we've teased her, and the 2 youngsters have handled it. One who's embarrassed is AJ. I must tell you, he's a very private fellow. And Pittman battling toward the first down marker there. Corey Mays. And tomorrow night, the FedEx Orange Bowl. Penn State, Florida State. Who do you like in that game, Mr. Danielson?
Well, I'm not so sure about this football game, to tell you the truth. You know, I'm really surprised that Virginia Tech game. I thought Virginia Tech would be able to handle Florida State. Looks to me like Drew Weatherford's getting better, but I think I'm going to go with that Penn State defense. Like that Penn State.
Paul Puzzlowski, those guys are pretty good.
Tom Bahali.
We've seen him play some great games. I think it's going to be closer than folks expect.
I do too. I think it'll be a great football game.
But then I thought the Irish would be able to put some points up in this game, too. And look, they're stuck on 7. We've had only 28 points now. And there's the whistle just prior to the snap. So The folks have packed Sun Devil Stadium.
72, false start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
This is the largest Tostitos Fiesta Bowl crowd in a non-championship game, 76,196, and the last one that will be played here. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl moves out to Glendale to the Arizona Cardinals' beautiful new stadium. We get a chance, we'll show that to you. And then, of course, 7 days later, the national championship game. I believe the dates are January 1st for the Tostitos, and then on the 8th, the national championship game. Into this stadium will be the Inside Bowl next year on December 29th. There's Troy pulling back out. Over to Pittman just a little bit. Let's take a look at this gorgeous facility. Jack Arute was out there and did some radio work for Sirius the other day, and he was telling me that it is just absolutely gorgeous. They're going to slide natural grass in on pallets into the field, and the dome opens up all the way, and you'll be able to look in there. Of course, Glendale already has the hockey arena out there, and here is Houston for a 46-yarder. Remember, he had one blocked earlier.
Yeah, it came right through here.
Blocked again. Whatever they found, they didn't close, Gary.
Well, it was a different guy, unfortunately, for Ohio State. They closed off the outside, but this time Trevor Laws just reached up that paw and blocked it inside this time. One time they came off the corner, and this time right up the guts.
But now the question is, can baby brother and the quarterback guru regroup? We shall find out.
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, brought to you by Tostitos. Nothing brings people together like Tostitos chips and salsa. Meet you at the Tostitos. Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. The Home Depot. You can do it, we can help. And Singular, raising the bar.
Just gorgeous, gorgeous sunsets here. Come down Desert Way. If any of you out there have never, ever seen the Grand Canyon, that's on your must-visit list. Unbelievable. And the Irish, the Bowls have not been kind to them. You've got to go back to the mid-90s down to the Cotton Bowl before you find the last win overthrowing. And it is 2nd down. And their last win in a bowl game, January 1st, 1994. And they were matched against the Aggies. There's Lou Holtz. He was their head coach, now a commentator for ESPN. Hard-fought game. The Irish win it, and they have lost 7 in a row. They were blown out here in a Tostitos Fiesta Bowl by Oregon State. Lost an Inside Bowl to Oregon State last year. So 7 consecutive bowl losses, and Coach Weiss, he beat that drum all week long. Slant play. And to midfield is number 82, Matt Shelton. That is only the 4th receiver now to catch a pass. That's 21 yards, and maybe that will ignite this Irish attack.
Against Ubodi, Ohio State is blitzing. Perfect throw from Brady Quinn, comes inside, and now look at this. Little no huddle from Notre Dame, trying to jump start that passing offense for Notre Dame.
One score would make this a dogfight. 21-7. Brady will dive to the 45-yard line. That's a 5-yard gain for the Irish quarterback. Gary, you go back and we've talked about Notre Dame mistakes, but when you think about the Buckeyes have had 2 field goals blocked and a fumble going in.
Absolutely.
Basically, we're talking 3 turnovers where you had a potential, let's say both field goals for 13 if they had scored, even 3 field goals, 9 that they've left on the table down there. And hit on Stovall on a slant, and on this play, Brady Quinn showed his courage. He showed exactly why he's got such upside. He knew he was going to take a wallop, and it still was a 13-yard gain for a 1st and 10. And here comes Mr. Quinn.
Notre Dame and Charlie Weiss has gone to the 3-step drop game. They're not blocking him very well. Schlegel was blitzing on that play. Ohio State has zone blitzed 4 straight plays and have not got to Quinn.
Couldn't hang on that time, and Samardzija has been relatively quiet as Whitner hits him as soon as he touches the ball. Here's our Dodge defensive playbook.
Well, and if you're going to talk defense, you got to talk this Buckeye defense because they have been aggressive and attacking. This is A.J. Hawk right there. Watch him come around. This is the sack. He drove Brady Quinn into the ground and kind of sprung that shoulder. It's been a little bit of that all night. Every time Brady Quinn has tried to take that 5- and 7-step drop, Ohio State has been able to put pressure on him.
Empty backfield. Quinn and the Irish. Incomplete. Intended for Fasano there in the middle. He was trying to sit down. He was very well covered. 5:30 out here in the Mountain Time Zone. Gary and Jack, I'm Brent. We certainly hope you had an enjoyable New Year's weekend. And, you know, a happy New Year and a great retirement wish goes out to my old friend Dick Vermeil. Closed it out in style yesterday with the Kansas City Chiefs. They won their 10th game of the season, beating Cincinnati, and the old coach rode off in the sunset. Should wind up in the Hall of Fame. Well, caught inside the 20-yard line. And he's coming back now to Matt Shelton. Shelton has got 2 big passes and working without a huddle and a little bit of a hurry up.
Watch Darius Walker. He gets A.J. Hawk, who tries to jump over him. That's what freed up Brady Quinn to throw that ball. Darius Walker sticking his face right into the All-American's knees.
Yeah, the All-American jumped his knees into him, didn't he? Got up high that time, and
short passing game.
Again, now, and it's number 82 who is leading the way. Matt Shelton was replaced in the 3-receiver package by number 11, David Grimes, but now it is Matt Shelton who has come alive here for the Irish.
And it's been all short, quick passes. You can see the adjustment. Ohio State's pressure has forced Quinn to go to the short passing game now. How will Ohio State adjust? Will they bring the house? Down here, they usually bring everyone.
Short drop right at the 10-yard line, and Jeff Samardzija is just hit as soon as he touches the ball. No yards after a catch. As you Bodie all over the young man, who's also an outstanding baseball player at Notre Dame, a right-handed pitcher, and I'm told that someday he may have a decision to make. When you watch him work, you think a little bit about Ricky Pearl, the wide receiver who's had such a great career in the NFL coming out of Wake Forest. He helped Coach Vermeil win a Super Bowl with the Rams and has moved on to Carolina. Samardzija reminds you of Pearl, although he's a little bit taller. He's in that slot area right now. And there's the call for the running play. Walker, touchdown again. His second of the game, and we've got a ball game again. The best drive for Weiss and the Irish since the opening drive of the game. The Buckeyes left them in, and finally Notre Dame is able to answer.
Watch the quick drop by Brady Quinn. You think it's a quick pass, and then he turns and hands it somewhat poorly to Darius, but gets it, makes one guy miss. It's Nate Sally, and he walks into the end zone.
DJ Fitzpatrick. Samardzija is his holder. How about this? How about this huge miss?
Missed one against Stanford that
one
really
or two
got him
they
behind.
missed.
And that one cost them right there. Now an 8-point game. That whole drive was featured a 3-step drop. They take it into the end zone and just pushes it wide.
We'll take a break. Scottsdale is home to some of the finest Western art in the world. Just one tremendous gallery after another. We come back now, and Fitzpatrick, who lost his job for a short time in that Stanford game, and now has missed an extra point that could loom very, very big. And this one out of bounds. He incurs the penalty there. Gary, let's check back in on our Dodge defensive playbook.
And really the key for Notre Dame is, can they handle the spread? Because this is Ohio State attacking the Notre Dame defense from the spread. They do a lot of things, throwing all over the field, and this is utilizing that speed that Ohio State has in Ginn, Santonio Holmes, Pittman. With that spread formation has really kept that Notre Dame defense really, really guessing all night.
The Irish, they have a problem looming with this kicking game. This is the first time all season that Fitzpatrick has taken a kickoff out of bounds. But on the other hand, the good news is Ginn nor Holmes handled it. And so here's Smith firing to the far side, wide open on a missed tackle. And a great hustle by Zibikowski to catch Ginn. Had the angle, and Zibikowski would not yield a touchdown.
The spread formation has been the story of the game. You go out, Notre Dame is spread all over the field, pitch and catch. Now a missed tackle by Wooden forces Zibikowski, who, by the way, is a 4.45 guy himself, the only chance with the angle to catch Ted Ginn.
44 more yards for Ginn. Just outside the red zone. And there's the former boxer. He calls the defenses in that secondary for the Irish. Pittman is swallowed. Maybe even lost a little bit on the first down play. The one thing to go back on the spread that Gary talked about. It's one thing to spread the field. It's a second thing is to have a quarterback who is strong enough to be able to throw it all the way to the far sideline. And Troy Smith in this game, folks, is 14 of 20 for 297 yards, 2 touchdowns, and no interceptions. He has also run for another 63 yards. He has well over 300 yards of total offense here today. And he's back in that gun again. Again, off a flanker screen, slips down. And it will be 3rd and long.
The Irish back-to-back plays have rolled the dice and blitz. Ohio State first time ran right into the teeth of it, and that time had a pretty good call with the wide receiver screen, and Notre Dame's pursuit stopped it.
There's Roy Hall checking in. He's caught 1 pass today.
3rd and long, and Ohio State doesn't want to line up in that field goal situation again, do they?
They take Pittman out wide to the left, and here they spread it again with 5 wide this time on 3rd down and long. Drops in over the middle of Gonzalez, who was bobbling it. And it's picked up by the Irish. There was no whistle that it was down. Zibikowski, here he comes. The fighter is well on his way. Touchdown. And there is a flag back on the 30 now. Hold on, it's on the Buckeye 30. It was an 89-yard return. Let us sort this out. It came during the return. It was never whistled down. I thought it might be an incomplete pass when I first saw it, and the ball left Gonzalez's hands. Remember, I was behind him, and Tressel might be saying that to the alternate official on that sideline. There's a huddle down here now. And, of course, remember, we're using instant replay also.
During the return, number 15, illegal block in the back on Notre Dame. It'll be a 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 1st and 10.
The pass went to Gonzalez on what they call a stutter in. He looked whether he caught the ball or bobbled it. Let's take a peek. He had it. If he would have caught it cleanly and ran, he had a touchdown. Catches it, 1. Oh, he bobbles it a little. You know what?
Folks, that's an incomplete pass.
That is going to be reviewed for sure, because then he doesn't get it cleanly, and then all of a sudden the return starts. 1, 2, and then as he's bringing it in, he bobbles the football.
Is it indisputable? That is always the question for the
and of course he never had it. He never had the fumble if it is a fumble. Looked like he caught it up high. When he tried to tuck it, he lost the ball.
Retired SEC referee.
I think they're going to call this an incomplete pass also, Brent. I agree with you. You have to tuck the football.
The communication now coming down, and Dave Perry, who set up instant replay with the Big Ten, is in our booth. Dave, talk to me about where we stand with instant replay. Is it successful? Where are we here?
All across the country.
Go ahead, Dave.
Again, Brent, it's been very successful all across the country. People like it. It has not intruded on the game very much. We're averaging about 1 replay per game. For every 3 shutdowns, we probably change 1. So I think it has been successful. The challenge ahead of us, of course, is to finalize a system so that all our conferences, no matter where the game is played, who's officiating it, it will be the same product. So again, I think overall high marks. We had 11 conferences doing it this year, a couple of tweaks here and there, but overall, again, well done.
After review, video evidence shows that the pass was not complete. The receiver never had possession. Incomplete pass. We will have 4th down on the 23-yard line.
2:25.
Tried to tuck it, didn't cleanly come down with it, and had a huge break on that long 3rd down play in return. Thank you. Had to catch against Michigan, but they'll remember the drop here.
Well, let's go back on what Dave Perry was telling us, and there you could see the system worked. There was no question that the young man never had control of the ball, and I know if you're an ardent Notre Dame fan, that hurts right now as you try to climb back in the game. And Josh Houston on the field with those 2 blocked kicks. We'll try to get one up, and they have just poured in from that left side, and we will watch and see if they have bolstered it.
Hamby missed one right here, and then the other one came power right over the big offensive line right there, the stout right side.
Got this one up. Beautiful. So 1 of 3, and it's a big one. 24-13. Buckeyes lead the Fighting Irish. It'll be Notre Dame's turn next.
And when we get it, boys, that's when we go on offense. That's when we go to them. And don't forget we're going to pick on one tackle they've got this week. We're going inside them. We're going outside them. Inside them and outside them. And when we get them on the run once, we're going to keep them on the run.
The legendary Notre Dame coach, Newt Rockne. Legend has it that he went to a Big Ten commissioner once and tried to get the head coaching job at Ohio State. But Irish fans will tell you he was just trying to leverage the job a little bit back in South Bend. Regardless, he's one of the great names in the history of college football. And Notre Dame will bring this one out on the 20, and suddenly Josh Houston has found his leg. Accurate with that field goal. Reminder that our aerial coverage, courtesy of the Goodyear Tire and Rubber Company, reminding you to get superior traction in any weather with Goodyear's new Forterra triple tread tires. You look down on Sun Devil Stadium here in Tempe, Arizona. The last time that the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl will be played here, and the Fighting Irish of Newt Rockne and now Charlie Weiss will attempt to gather themselves for a rally here against a team they've met only 4 times previously, only 280 miles apart, and yet Notre Dame won the first 2, Ohio State the last 2. Walker and A.J. Hawk is there to make the stop. So Walker on this game has carried 14 times for 88 yards and both of the Notre Dame touchdowns.
That time Notre Dame's defense stayed solid. Didn't blitz, didn't stunt. They just kept everyone looking at the ball, and that's why they were able to stop that draw play.
Quickly to Stovall for a first down for Notre Dame. Djibouti is there along with Whitner. So they had him well bracketed.
Yeah, the quick passing game again. They're going to force Ohio State to move up their coverage. That must be the 6th straight 3-step drop that Notre Dame has thrown against this Buckeye defense.
The All-American linebacker, number 47, A.J. Hawk. Couple of the sacks today for the Buckeyes. They get ready with that nickel look, put 3 down. Bobby Carpenter hasn't played. He normally would be down in that defense. Quinn getting flushed. He fires to the tight end, Fasano, and it's juggled over there. And the Irish have it, Anthony Fasano, 6'5". And it makes his first catch of the game for 8 yards. So he has been quiet. They have 2 fine pass-catching tight ends. And
Fasano delayed that time, stayed in and blocked. That was a check down. Ball came loose. Good hit from the secondary.
And
But
Shelton
recovered by
dives in.
Shelton right at the end of that football player. That would have been a loose ball.
Great save. Second down. Quinn time fires for the 1st and 10, and close to midfield. Samardzija, the receiver, and boy, have they really done a job on him. You see the strategy that they have preached about number 83. As soon as he touches the ball, get on him right now. No yards after a catch. Stay as tight as you can. Walker wrestled down. Kudla.
Boy, you could see the game plan. 3-step drop, 3-step drop, 3-step drop. They have changed the tempo of this football game, Notre Dame has, by coming with a different attack in their passing game. They found their rhythm, and that's all they've been doing.
They're going to need a couple of scores in the 4th quarter. They're going to need a 4th quarter rally, because the Buckeyes are going to the money quarter leading 24-13. 472 yards of offense for the Buckeyes, 259 for the Irish. And our presentation of the Fiesta Bowl continues after this message and a word from our ABC stations.
Tostitos Fiesta Bowl on ABC Sports.
Back for the 4th quarter. And the Irish skill players over there huddled around Coach Weiss, the line ready to go, and they come out right to the line of scrimmage. This is 2nd down. Just across midfield. Quick pass to Stovall, and Hawk rides him out of bounds. He would not give him the first down. You know, we want to talk about Jim Tressel and what he has meant to the Ohio State program, coming in and leading a lot of John Cooper's recruits to a national championship, and then his own recruits. He's come back here to a Tostitos Fiesta Bowl, co-champion of the Big Ten. He's done a wonderful job with Ohio State.
Sold Ohio State to Ohio State football players. They believe in it. They believe in it's important, and that is why they win these tight games, and they're playing with so much more passion than they were in years past. He's done a great job of that.
The man who popularized sweater vests in the state of Ohio. 3rd down and 6. Empty backfield for Quinn. Can't find anybody open. Slips the tackle. Got a corner, but he won't get the first down because of you-know-who. These defenders, A.J. Hawk, the ringleader, and the quarterback's sister saying, you got to go. Keep going.
Yeah, A.J. Hawk had Darius Walker right there, but as A.J. comes back in, Walker is wide open. A.J. makes the hit, but if Brady Quinn would have kept his eyes downfield, he could have just flipped it right over A.J. Hawk. Darius Walker was 15 yards in the open.
Not going to gamble at this point. Still a long way to go. Not a good punt. Here comes again. Looking for daylight down at the 32. You just hold your breath if you're a Notre Dame player on the sideline or a fan. Anytime number 7 touches the ball tonight, he has been the difference in this Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. The Tostitos Fiesta Bowl with Jack Arute and Gary Danielson. I'm Brent Musburger. Ted Ginn tonight has caught 7 passes for 162 yards. He opened up the scoring for the Buckeyes with a long strike. He also has run 1 play from scrimmage for a 68-yard touchdown. Could have scored there, except Zivakowski ran him out of bounds on the far side. So Ted Ginn, well over 200 yards of total offense here tonight for the Buckeyes. A big difference, the speed of the Buckeyes against Notre Dame. Coming at you again. Just dancing and prancing his way to a few more yards behind what has been an outstanding performance by the Buckeye offensive line. Brandon Hoyt making the stop. And we check in down below with Jack.
Well, guys, you know, you talk about the Charlie Weiss-Brady Quinn relationship. There is a relationship between Jim Tressel and Troy Smith. They say they each have each other on a speed dial. Well, early in the season, you would hear the coach instructing Troy Smith. Well, in that last series, it was Troy Smith conferring with his head coach. Let's see what happens. They were trading ideas.
2nd and 5 here. This is Pittman for the first down and breaking almost free. Zivakowski has saved a couple of touchdowns here today. The young man who was a Golden Gloves boxer.
Watch Mangold this time, the center. He just drives a nose tackle Landry right into the ground. Did a great job of anticipating the charge up front and just kind of pushing the guy on the ground and letting him basically block himself. That's that smartness of Mangold. He's been there forever. He's seen it all. He calls out all the protections and the blocking schemes.
So Tom Zivakowski, the safety, gets ready now for Troy Smith. And the Buckeyes, they're at midfield with a first down. Out of bounds, and we spoke about Zivakowski's boxing career, and we asked him about it.
Pretty much I had to try and convince my mother to let me fight. You know, she didn't want her youngest son getting punched in the face all the time, so I had to convince her to let me box. And you know, we told her I want to learn the basics. I just want to, get the fundamentals, learn how to punch, and then 80 fights later, that's kind of where my career's taken me.
80 fights later and never knocked down. Yes, he has been beaten several times, but he's never been knocked down. Knocked out 2 of his opponents, he told us. And he never even had to take a standing 8 count in Golden Gloves competition.
Here's Ted Ginn back at tailback right here again. This is where they put him in motion and direct snap it.
Here's Ginn. Zivakowski comes, his roommate is Zamarja. So I had to ask this question, folks.
Without thinking about it, spell your roommate's last name.
I say Mardzija.
You're the best.
He was an option quarterback, and there's Zamarja. Fine young men who are suffering today because they're on the losing end of that 24-13 score right now. But regardless of what happens here today, it has been a revival for the Fighting Irish, and they ran into a defensive Bearcat in this game. I am firmly convinced that Charlie Weiss didn't have any idea as to how good the Buckeyes were defensively. In the NFL, you play the same fellas every year, and you get a couple of cracks at them, and you get an idea about the talent. Until you're on the field, and you're looking at players, and you really don't know. And as you go along, I'm sure you learn.
That was 3 straight runs to the left, and that's the first time Notre Dame has been able to stop that isolation play to the left.
3rd down. 4 wide. And And Smith bounces outside on the run, throws Hall, first down and then some. Troy Smith is one of the best college quarterbacks in America. He is amazing when he bounces and on the run can throw a strike like that.
Now that ball was supposed to go to the left side that time, but the pressure in his face forced it the other way.
Now this is the Michigan game. There's the bounce. Gonzalez comes back after being forced out, and then Pittman for the game winner. 25-21 in Ann Arbor. 24-13, and Smith and the Buckeyes threatening again. Pittman is stopped by the middle, and let's check in with John Saunders. John?
Well, Brent, as you know, this year the Notre Sugar Bowl is being played in Atlanta. So Mark Richt of Georgia may have a little advantage, although the West Virginia Mountaineers have just one loss this year. It's coming up next, Brent.
Should be another good one. The BCS Bowls are underway. Hall brings the play in from Tressel's sideline. Tressel gives his assistants, Joe Daniels and Jim Bowman, all the credit. They're upstairs in the booth. But, folks, that's the man who's in charge of this offense. And we have a soundbite on what he does when the defense is on the field. We'll let you listen to that before we shut it down here tonight. Second down. Here's Smith, and deflected. It was like a tennis player poaching, and it's Abi Amiri. Victor Abi Amiri, number 95. Outstanding football player. Fine defensive end.
That's one of those short passes that when you're a defensive end, if you can't get there, you have to get your hands up, and it's exactly what Abi Amiri did that time. Now remember, a field goal here for Ohio State makes it a 14-point game. See how Tressel calls this.
I would love to see Ryan Hamby catch a touchdown pass. Nothing against the Irish, but I go back to that Texas game when that young man dropped one. He's been injured, struggled a little bit this year. He brought the play in from Tressel's sideline. Quarterback draw is what they want. Spinning short of the first down.
I think Jim Tressel looked at that score and said, if I get a three-pointer, it's 27-13. Remember, he won a national championship with defense and kicking game. He may be running the spread, but he still knows how to manage that game clock. He's a very good game management coach.
Wouldn't you want to put it ahead of 14, though?
Well, I'd take a touchdown if I could, but he's not going to risk an interception. 3 points are very important to him right now.
Well, my quarterback's got a couple of touchdown passes already.
And we got 2 turnovers, too.
And he's got no interceptions. Fourth down, this is a 26-yarder now.
More than 3.
Well, they blocked 2 field goals today. They got to get this one up. They got the last one up. He did. He's put it on 14. It's still 2 scores. Notre Dame very much alive in this football game.
ABC Sports exclusive coverage of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Brought to you by Ford F-150. Built Ford tough. The Taco Bell Big Bell Value Menu. To get full-on value, think outside the bun. Capital One. What's in your wallet? And FedEx. For the ultimate in reliable shipping. Relax. It's FedEx.
Wonderful view as you look down the lights here in Tempe. Arizona State University, located here. Fine facility down on the Tostitos. The last Tostitos Fiesta Bowl to be played here. It'll move out to Glendale and the Arizona Cardinals, brand new facility next year. Here with the Buckeyes up by a couple of touchdowns. Houston rockets one out of the end zone. And our FedEx air stats of this game. Troy Smith back-to-back 300-yard games. 300 against Michigan and 317 tonight against Notre Dame. Quinn with 179. And our FedEx ground stats. The Buckeyes 215 yards. And Troy Smith has rushed for 69 of those. Pittman and Ginn are the co-leaders with 73 apiece. So there is Mr. Smith having, well, he's headed for a 400-yard night. the way he's going here. Average yards per play, and the Irish up against power on both ends of the ball. Then they've got Stovall in the open field for a first down. Remember, they're still in this now. Lots of time. Need to work quickly. Down a couple of scores.
Ohio State that time did not bring any pressure. Brady Quinn without pressure has been able to just get that ball to the short receivers. Nothing deep though. It's unusual for this Notre Dame passing offense, not being able to go deep. Let's see if he can find something down the field deeper.
Here is Quinn. Shelton again, who's been very busy, and his fourth catch of the game. And so now we talked to Jim Trussell. And Jim, what do you do when the defense is on the field?
When the defense is on the field, my attention immediately turns to the special teams. I have a flip switch that can go to the defensive coaches, but the only time I use it is when we're talking about maybe timeouts or penalty enforcement.
2nd down and 4, and he might have been bringing a little fire to the folks on the sideline as Shelton on the Buckeye sideline picks up another 1st and 10. Malcolm Jenkins, the defender there, and if the Irish and Brady Quinn can finish this off quickly, they'll have plenty of time left. The question is, can the Irish defense stop Ohio State late in this game and force us into a tie situation?
Again, Ohio State came with that stunt. Schlegel comes in and slams the guard. A.J. Hawk comes around the backside, but the ball is thrown before Hawk can get there. He comes clean, but a quick pass gets it off.
Trouble. Quinn trying to pull away, is sacked at the 30 by Mike Kudla, number 57. What a wonderful story he is. There's a young man who a couple of years ago, well, they gave him the last rites in a hospital. He had a rare infection, and he has come back to be one of the best defensive linemen at Ohio State this year.
Yeah,
one of the strongest players on the team.
Not only that, his goal is to break the NFL record at the Combine for 220-pound bench press. The record's 43 reps. He's already done that in the summer. He's going for 50.
A 15-yard loss. Screen with Walker. And he gets it back to the 45, well short of the 1st and 10. Marcus Green, the Buckeye, is there.
Yeah, well short, but still now in range that you can possibly pick this up. That was a positive play for as backed up as that Notre Dame offense was.
40 points scored, 8 minutes to go. 3rd down and 12. The Irish have been unable to go long. Got a man wide open. Zamarja with a 1st and 10 inside the 30 to the 26-yard line. Nate Sally, the defender, and Zamarja was wide open this time.
He really was. He came down the slot and he made a little shake to the outside. You see all the open grass right there. Brady Quinn throws it right to the open grass. The screen pass on 2nd down allowed for that throw in the seam there on 3rd down.
Quinn is back. Dropping it off to Walker to the 25-yard line. And here is Zamarja. And he has some interesting thoughts on when Coach Weiss took over this offense.
We had a long talk about what he expected out of me for the year and where he saw me fitting into the offense. And he said it was going to be a big part, and he felt that I had a lot to do with the success of this offense. So I tried to just go with that and try to not let him down, basically, from the beginning.
Outstanding right-handed pitcher. He'll play both. And, of course, he only goes to the baseball team on days when he pitches. And the slant that time, and very, very well defended by Dante Whitner, who was right there.
Yeah, see, Dante just knows what's coming. He does that film study. He's been there, seen it all. He anticipated the slant that time and really forced Quinn to throw that ball behind Zamarja. That's the only place it could have been completed. Whitner, who patterned his game after Mike Doss, playing that DOS position, strong safety.
Quinn much more accurate here in the second half. And got a timeout, so he'll go over and talk about it. Find out what coach wants to do. Big third down coming up when you come back.
I came to Notre Dame to play for the greatest university in the history of college football, and I'm excited about playing in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl.
And he's excited right now. 4-down territory. This is third down coming up for Notre Dame. They need 2 touchdowns. Down by 14. 7:03 to go. At the Buckeye 25-yard line. Sent the back out. Goes to the end zone. Incomplete, and his intended target down there was very well covered. Walker had broken free the underneath running back, and I'm surprised that he didn't hit him for a first down.
Ohio State ran a nice combo in and out coverage against Notre Dame, and as Zamarja went to the corner, he thought that he was not the intended receiver and just stopped on the play. I think Brady Quinn misread that and threw to the wrong guy.
Here's 4th down and 8 for Weiss and the Irish. Must get inside the 17-yard line. Stovall hangs on. First down, Notre Dame. Sally couldn't jar it loose. It's 1st and goal.
The only reason that play worked is Brady Quinn had to get out of the pocket and then get his eyes downfield. Stovall's right here. He comes out. Ohio State does not blitz. They sit back, 4-man rush, roll up corner. Stovall knows he's not open deep, so he stops. Brady Quinn sees him and delivers the high ball. And as he let that ball go, that could have been roughing the passer and should have been roughing the passer by Quinn Pitcock.
Absolutely. You've got to protect your quarterbacks in that situation. NFL would not have hesitated. Flag would have flown. 1st and goal inside the 10. Diving, incomplete, and a penalty flag is thrown. If it's against the defense, it's half the distance here from about the 8.5-yard line.
I think the ball was in the air when Zamarja was jammed. Interesting whether they call pass interference or holding on the play. It's that play action pass trying to hit Zamarja behind the linebackers.
Jim Tressel's defense tonight taking a page out of the New England Patriots defensive playbook, banging away at the wide receivers like they did Indianapolis.
On the defense, number 51. Penalty will be enforced at the spot of the foul at the 2-yard line. 1st and goal.
Yeah, that'll go down to the 2-yard line. Now watch, Zamarja comes inside, and the ball will be in the air when he gets jammed. It's Slagle who pushes Zamarja, and that's good call. That was pass interference.
Absolutely. Ball was in the air. You can't touch him at that point, and he might have caught that ball. Now can the Irish score? We've got 6:21 left here in the 4th. And then the question about the extra point. Remember, they've missed one already tonight. Here's Walker. He's been the touchdown man, but not this time. The Buckeyes jam it. Every yard a struggle against Hawk and the Buckeye defense.
Charlie Weiss looking at the clock, understanding that he has to get that ball in because he needs 2 touchdowns, brings back in his spread look.
Grimes checks in. Walker is out of the game. 2nd down and goal. Under pressure, incomplete. Didn't have a chance because boring in David Patterson coming off the line at the Irish quarterback. And watch Bobby Carpenter, unable to play tonight. Broke his ankle on the first defensive play of the game against Michigan, but right in the heart of things down there. The senior, last time he'll suit up for Ohio State. His daddy played in the NFL, Rob Carpenter. He's here in attendance tonight.
3 tight end in look right here. Remember, they went wide side the other way last time. Will they run the tight end?
They're going to toss in that direction to Walker. Walker barges for the end zone. No signal yet. Just short. 4th down and goal. It has come to this for the Irish.
And it also takes valuable time off that clock again. Remember, last time they went wide. This time they toss it. Looks like Walker's going to be able to get in. Kudla turns it back in, and then back into those linebackers. The ball.
A.J. Hawk makes an unbelievable play. A.J. Hawk dove in low on that replay.
Yes, he was. The question, did that ball break the plane? They're going to get a review of it.
Take a look at it.
Yep, they are.
Replay wants to take a look at this. Gary, did you think it broke the plane?
At first glance, I couldn't tell. I could see it close enough that they would go to replay. Remember, that plane, just the nose of the ball, has to touch that plane. Goes up, and did that ball get over it? Let's look at it again. Looks like we're right down the line here. We're looking at it. Hawk low, stops him. The ball is ripped a bit, and then that angle, boy, that looks, from this angle, looks like it's touching that plane to me. Is it conclusive, though? That's the question.
Indisputable.
Yep.
Video evidence is what we look for. So they must decide that it's indisputable. Hold on.
Video evidence shows that the ball carrier put the ball out over the goal line. Therefore, we have a touchdown.
Wow. So 27-19. And the Irish fans are celebrating. He'll say go for one, and why not? Buckeyes have left them right in the thick of this.
The blocked field goals have really kept Notre Dame in this football game, and the turnover when they got down there on 1st and goal on the option play, when Ohio State had control of this game.
Now remember, Notre Dame has missed an extra point in this game. Fitzpatrick. So they're going to settle up the time situation. We have Dave Perry here, and Dave, you've had a monitor, you've looked at it. Did the fellow in the replay booth make the right decision? Was it a touchdown?
From what I saw, I think it was, Brent. If he breaks any piece of that goal line plane all the way to the sky, it's a touchdown. It appeared a piece of the ball got in, hence we have a touchdown. And again, why replay is so valuable and so important.
Yeah, it comes at a critical time in this game. You're absolutely right. Gary, I think you thought.
That's 2 of them today, too. He had the fumble on Gonzalez, and then this one now.
So they're getting the clock. And, wow, that's, was that around 30 seconds they got? He put 32 seconds back up on the clock.
I don't know if we had the clock matted on that play to see where it was.
Now Fitzpatrick, and it's critical, and he drills that one right down the heart of South Bend. Hang on, folks. If you're Notre Dame, it can't hurt to have one of your Heisman Trophy winners, Tim Brown, standing on the sideline. It's 27-20, 5:27 to go in the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl. Last Notre Dame player to win it, and a great career as a receiver also in the National Football League. Ball is on the tee. 7 and 4 back deep. You know who that is. And this is 4. Holmes drops it at the 1 and picks it up. Down at the 15-yard line, where it'll be first down now. And, of course, a reminder, conference champions collide. The SEC's Georgia Bulldogs rumble with the West Virginia Mountaineers, representing the Big East, the Nokia Sugar Bowl in Atlanta. next right here on ABC Sports. So Zbikowski and the Irish defenders have to hold because Troy Smith has thrown for 317 yards and he's run for another 69.
And Jim Tressel is going to open with the fullback, not the spread.
Going to try to work the clock with Pittman. It'll be second down and long. Tally. And Zbikowski.
See, here's the problem when you run the spread all game and you're wide open with reverses and comebacks and long passes when you need to milk the cow clock. Now, does the spread, do you have confidence? Do you believe in it? And will you call the same type of plays? That's the challenge.
Smith is 17 of 25 for the evening. Smith had lots of time and deflected incomplete. And coming up, of course, the Built Ford Tough postgame and Nokia Sugar Bowl pregame prior to the Georgia-West Virginia game.
Remember, both of these quarterbacks in their last game, Troy Smith against Michigan, Brady Quinn against Stanford, brought their team back to win a football game. So both defensive coordinators know that the other quarterback can take it the distance against them.
Third down doesn't get much bigger than this. Base 4-3 for the Irish. Smith to throw out of it on the swing as he got the first down. He does. On third and long, they swing it to Pittman for a Buckeye first down. Troy Smith is some maturing quarterback.
You know what you like about this throw is he didn't guide it. He saw a wide open Pittman. He comes on the option to fake the option, and Pittman runs a little bit of a wheel route to the outside. And as he sees him crowded downfield, he throws a strike to him right in stride and allows Pittman to dive across for the first down. A lot of times you get a guy that open like basketball. You just can't make that throw or shot. He delivered it.
He sure did. First and 10. Irish send some linebackers this time. And Pittman struggles for a yard plus. And of course, in a couple of nights, USC and Texas for the BCS championship. Isn't it unbelievable that USC has won 34 games in a row under Pete Carroll and his coaching staff? That's just stunning for me. And of course, folks, if they put their average up on the board, Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush for the Trojans and Vince Young for about 100 points scored in that game. I don't think we'll have that many, but we could get up into the 70s on that one easily if they go up and down the field. Second down and long now for the Buckeyes. They lead it by 7. Troy wants to run and he's going nowhere.
Yeah.
They couldn't open a hole, and number 66, Derek Landry, the fine defensive tackle, makes the stop. And
that's what you gotta do.
Here we go again. Third down and long, and this one about 3rd and 11.
You got to hand it to Derek Landry. Hasn't made a lot of plays inside, but as a nose tackle type guy, you got to just keep working and working and working, and maybe in the fourth quarter you make that play that makes a difference. That was a quarterback draw, and he refused to be blocked.
Buckeyes need to go to the 37-yard line for a first down. They need a good 11 yards. In trouble, dances away. Here comes the dangerous Troy Smith. Fires, did he get it again? He did.
My, oh my.
The wizard, Troy Smith, has come up with another one.
He should have been sacked. Michigan is saying, I see you, I hear your pain, Notre Dame. The same thing happened to us. Nobody open, nobody there. Should have been sacked right there. He turns it around, then keeps his eyes downfield, finds who else? Anthony Gonzalez again for a huge first down.
And what a play by number 11. He was in the middle of the field, stacked up with the linebackers. When he saw what Smith was going to do, he ad-libbed to the outside, and Troy Smith found him beautifully.
How can you keep your calm eyes downfield when you make one of those spins like that? That's amazing by Troy Smith.
Now the Irish must stop. They have a corner blitz, and the Bucks run right to it. Daylight, end zone ahead. Pittman, touchdown, game over. 60 yards. The Buckeyes strike with the big plays, 4 of them. And they will go home again with the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl trophy. It'll be their 3rd win here. One of them, of course, resulting in a national championship in an overtime win over Miami, a 2nd over Kansas State, and now here tonight against Notre Dame. 1:46 to go, and now the point that will put this on 54.
That's one of the best clutch plays I've seen by a quarterback in a long time. On 3rd and long, Troy Smith saved Ohio State, and then running behind Stan White, the offensive line, Ryan Hamby, and Dadish gets a good block, number 50, and Antonio Pittman, who waited till the 8th game to score, does it again.
The Buckeyes are bringing it home to Columbus again.
ABC Sports coverage of the Tostitos Fiesta Bowl continues.
1 year ago, when the Ohio State Buckeyes went to their bowl game, that man, Troy Smith, had to stay home for violating NCAA rules and taking money from a booster. All year, he thought about it, tried to win back the admiration of his team. He told us before the game, guys, that this was going to be redemption day. Looks like it has.
Absolutely, Jack. And Troy Smith, the orchestrator of a big play offense today. 4 Buckeye touchdowns, longer than 55 yards. An amazing performance here. Big play Buckeye night in Tempe. And Friday, a groundbreaking new series comes to ABC. Every year, thousands of innocent Americans are wrongly convicted. Where do you turn when the justice system turns on you? Everyone needs a hero, especially the innocent. Injustice series premieres this Friday. Well, the thing that everybody should leave with if you're a Notre Dame fan is what a wonderful year this was, regardless of what happened here tonight. I know it will stretch that bowl losing streak to 8, and I know that disappointment, sadness at not winning, but Charlie Weiss and that coaching staff took the first step back. They've already recruited an outstanding class. Brady Quinn hits Walker, and Whitner is there. That's short of a first down with a minute and a half now left here in the desert. And for Jim Trussell and the Buckeyes, when those summer polls come out in the early preseason magazines, Troy Smith has just elevated himself into Heisman Trophy candidacy for next year.
Absolutely.
And the Buckeyes could be the number 1 or 2 ranked team. We'll see what happens. The next few BCS games, they're going to be very, very highly rated as we check back on this game plan. They did indeed spread for speed.
And that's exactly what it was. By Ohio State moving that ball all over the field from the spread formation, Notre Dame was not able to handle it. And you know, the deep ball, Notre Dame has made a living on the deep ball. Stovall and Samardzija did not catch a touchdown pass in the game.
Stops the clock momentarily on the first down with 40 seconds to go. You go back to that last drive. Pittman's 60-yard touchdown run, of course, buried the Irish. But Troy Smith faced a 3rd and 9 and a 3rd and 11 prior to that touchdown, and he converted both for Coach Jim Trussell. And there he is down there in his sweater vest, calmly surveying the scene. When we talked to the coaching staff, I had the feeling that he was extremely confident about this game. I had the feeling, because he'd played several of the Big Ten teams that had been in the arena with Notre Dame. He looked at the tapes. He knew that personnel. I think he felt he could move the ball big time. And, of course, Troy Smith delivered the rest. And he's one of those very heartwarming stories. Folks, he comes from a very tough background. He's lived a hard life, and he's been given a chance and starting to show trust in his coaches, starting to make the right decisions. It's the kind of story you just love to see in college football. And folks, if you're ever on a playground and he's playing, he's a first-round draft choice right there. Now look who's going to get the bath, and Carpenter's going to help deliver it.
Mr. Straightlace himself. He noticed Jack's collar, and he's going to get a Gatorade.
Can they get him?
Oh, they got him.
They got him. But you had to hold him up, Gary.
Rob Sims had him.
Let me tell you. Whoa. Oh, mercy. Big hug there with Troy Smith. Bobby Carpenter, I know he's terribly disappointed about not playing tonight. He'll get a chance to play Sunday football next year. Just a fine story. Notre Dame faces another one of those tough schedules next year, but they're going to be exciting. Their television ratings over on NBC way up, I noticed, this season. Sellout crowds in South Bend. Charlie Weiss looks like he was the right man for the right job. And so Notre Dame enjoyed a great season, even though they're going to lose here tonight to the Buckeyes. Got a timeout call by Notre Dame. Gary, it's our last game. You and Jack Arute, Steve Bond, Bob Goodrich, Mike Pearl down in the truck, and just everybody. George Hill up here with the stats. Brian Movelson, of course, our spotter all year long. And we want to thank the cameramen, the TD, Mr. High Def himself, and for all the great work they did during the season.
Well, covered it pretty good, but nothing prettier than this last touchdown, Brent. 5 great blocks. Mangold, Sims, Tadish, White, and then watch the big play guys downfield. The left side, everybody gets their block, and then watch this. Number 4, Santonio Holmes, he just doesn't catch passes, and number 7, right there, Ted Ginn, gets his block. How about that? Finish off a football game like that. That is beautiful.
I've got about 415, somewhere around there, for Troy Smith here tonight, and maybe a little bit less than that, maybe just right over 400 yards passing and running tonight. Troy Smith, the player of the match, no question about that. And Brady Quinn being sacked again the 5th time. Mike Kudla in his last game for the Buckeyes, and now Jim Trussell wanting the clock to tick away. He'll go out and congratulate Charlie on the season he's had. Charlie stands over there like he just wants another series. Ohio State. Man, the desert should bring the Buckeyes down here more often. They'd have a winning team. They own this place. So the celebration. The 3rd Fiesta Bowl win in 4 years. Let's go down to Jack Abreu. Jack.
Well, Coach, you gave me a collar stay here. You got all wet before the game. I'm going to give you a towel. What was the difference in that second half for your team?
You know, it was a battle. You know, Notre Dame does a great job. They play hard. They got great kids. And, you know, we just kept fighting and kept fighting. The guys making plays. And I'm so proud of this senior class. They've won a lot of games and done some special things.
I know Troy Smith said before the game that he wanted to make this a redemption game for the mistakes he made in missing last year's bowl. Has he redeemed himself?
Well, he redeemed himself a long time ago with me. He's a special kid. I love him. And he's my guy. So he did plenty of redemption.
Troy Smith, congratulations. Redemption time. Tell me a little bit about your game tonight. What was the difference?
Oh, man, just sending the seniors out with a win. That's what every person on the team set out to do today. You know, again, I want to give thanks to God, because without him, none of this is possible. But sending the seniors out with a win today, that was our main focus.
Congratulations, man.
Thanks, baby. Thanks.
So Troy Smith and the Buckeyes win it 34-20 over the Fighting Irish. And a reminder, coming up next on ABC, the Nokia Sugar Bowl. It's Georgia, West Virginia. So long, everybody, from the desert.
Thank